Who's
Hello, everybody. Good to be with you all again. We have well, I wouldn't call it a special live stream, special ed maybe. Like if you're trying to help people who are completely illiterate with the Bible and they listen to someone who has no idea what the Bible teaches, that's what we're going to be talking about tonight. Sam Shamoon. Now, of course, we give Sam credit for being a good arguer, and basically he's a sophisticated liar. He's just a difficult person. There's nothing special about Sam. In fact, that's a liability, right? He creates contention everywhere he goes, but people are usually too much of a coward to do anything about it until after he turns on them. Nevertheless, once that happens, they're all too willing to do so because Sam's not a good person. Okay, he's never been a good person ever in any of the decades, at least 3, that I've known about him and or known him. And that would probably be the same for almost everyone who's known him during that same period of time. And for the few who might not think so, you're blind. Okay, this guy lies all the time. You're going to see tonight in the video I'm going to show you, which is a part of a video that I started to respond to about half a year ago. But it got derailed, and I'll explain why in a moment. Sam's a liar. He's a despicable person. You're going to see tonight some of the things this guy said about me, okay? This is part of the reason why I am as hard on these guys as I am. There's no more ever soft on these perverts. I tried that several times with Sam, and every time he stabbed me in the back and lied. Fortunately for me, he's too pathetic to do any lasting damage. He just wastes your time. And he tries to get you to go through this emotional ride with him because he's a basket case, okay? You know, it's interesting when we read in the Bible about unemployed fatzos and gluttons, pigs, you know, how Jesus talks in Paul, Titus 1:12. Yeah, he talks about people just like that who don't work and who overeat anyway. And what does the same Paul in the same Bible say? You don't work, you don't eat. A person doesn't take care of their family. What are they? Worse than an unbeliever. Yeah, that means it doesn't matter if you believe in the Trinity. It doesn't matter if you believe in one God the Father. It means if you're too much of a pig that you can't even hold down a job, and you don't have any permanent disability except for being a fatso. It means if you can't do that and you can't take care of your kids, no one should be thinking of you as anything but worse than an unbeliever. Now ask yourself how many of these people who are with Sam or against Sam right now thought of him that way for the actual reasons in the Bible, not just because he turned on them. Exactly. Now you know who you're dealing with, at least partially. Some may wake up and change for the better. Most of them are just like him. That's why they didn't care if he was worse than an unbeliever. They only cared if he turned on him. Now, you know what's interesting about Sam, in addition to all that horribleness? You know, he likes to play up to his family a lot, and we can all sympathize. Sam's daughters, to me, and what I've seen, because he puts them up here, right? So we don't have, he's forcing us to, because he, I believe, uses them as emotional props. But nevertheless, maybe he has a limitation, who knows? From what I see, his daughters look like they're going to do really well. Don't you agree? They literally correct him in very complete and well-formed, well-thought-out sentences, right? They make Sam look like the retard he is. So Sam, the good news is you've got some really smart daughters with bright futures. The bad news is they're like that because they're not with you. How does that make you feel? You know, I don't really care because you have chosen to feel that way and then make everybody else feel bad for you just so you can get up here and lie about the Bible some more, right? No, it's not about taking care of your family. It's not about setting a good example. No, it's about arguing for these false doctrines, taking care of your insecurities, right? That's why your churches are dying. Don't you understand that? Nobody cares about the Trinity. Just you maniacs here on YouTube and a few others outside of it. This much? No, most people do not care about this stuff this much, my friend. And that's why you guys are falling apart, because you can't stop. You can't even moderate yourselves properly. You literally have your bright daughter's future mapped out for everybody, for them, for sure, and you, right? You said so yourself. They're basically going to have to wheel you around from buffet to buffet, right? They won't have to go to any churches because you never go there. But, you know, you're basically setting them up for failure, Sam. You're a despicable person. You're a bad dad. You're a bad person. You're not trustworthy. You lie. Literally show up on your stream after you're bad-mouthing me. You freak out and lie. Yeah, you're not a good person, right? And this is something nobody should ever have a problem identifying. Okay, if you do, you're just like him. It's real simple. Now, we will deal with Sam's arguments because, as I said, he is good at that. He's been consistent in this realm for a long time, so he has developed, just like Satan. And I believe Sam is, look, you tell me who else Satan would be using in some way like he's using Sam to promote this false doctrine the way he is. Okay, he's the number one despicable pig on the planet. No one is worse, and has been for a long time. Okay, and yet this radiant pervert will cry like a baby and a victim when someone gives him a taste of his own medicine, just like a true bully, right? Just like Satan, right? He hates that. He hates it when he's the number one liar, right? The best. He's the father of the lie. But if you actually tell him he's a liar, he goes insane, right? Can't handle it. Just like Sam. Because they hate the truth. Just like a real liar. So, yeah, I don't know. Sam's got his daughters. We're going to have to get Sam, right? He's basically exploding beyond capacity. He's going to eventually, because of Sam's gluttonous and lack of work and just sitting around getting fat, waiting for his daughters to wheel him around. Eventually, they probably will, and then he won't be able to get out of the bedroom. Right? They're gonna have to redesign residences in different communities where Sam is for inclusion. Right? People are going to have to be inclusive in their building codes now because Sam is going to need. He's going to have to escape the residence. But he can't get out of the bed, right? Eventually, he's going to be one of those people where he's just not mobile. He'll start with the wheelchair, like he said. He's already planned that out. Eventually, he's going to think, well, why am I getting out of this bed just to get into that wheelchair, right? What's the point of that? I'll stay in the bed and we'll compartmentalize everything right here, right? Eventually, we'll have to get it registered at the Department of Motor Vehicles. So Sam would just... The new residences, the walls, the interior walls all have to be collapsible, right? They'll have to pull back so Sam can move through the different walls, right? It's got to be fully open in the house with these support beams in the corners of each room. And then when he's not there or when he's closed in, right, we'll close up the walls for privacy. Otherwise, he has to be able to basically open up the house and go, right? And, in the DMV, right, you can't have a bed out there with just a metal frame, right? So we'll have to build him like this giant saucepan, right? Then he can drive around in. When the bed goes out, it kind of loads up onto the pan, this giant round iron vehicle. And it has this this giant kind of like pan lid that goes over the top. And, he's got to have a defrost though, right? Because all the sweat and the heat. He's a human heat pump. He's just going to be getting everything fogged up. So everything has to be adjusted for Sam. That's how he is. Everything. Everyone has to give up their life for Sam. And while there's a little humor in that, let me tell you something. I'm pretty pissed off, okay? I try to make this enjoyable. I try to be humorous. I try to be entertaining. And then I also am myself. Because I understand, it's a channel. We're here to try to be serious, but also, you don't want to be bored to death, right? Well, let me tell you something. Engaging people like Sam or Sam himself, like I have for years, and most recently several years, concentrated time, nonstop, gone, right? Totally destroyed him, wrapped him up, gone. And he knows it, and you're going to see it more tonight. It's over. This is finished, right? This is a joke, right? These people are a joke at this point, and they're collapsing. Don't make any mistake about it. We don't want anyone hurt. We don't want anyone like the churches to break down. I'm not here trying to promote the destruction of, all these churches. I just know you can see it. I'm going to show you later the statistics. It's because of them. They actually make us look bad, right? I don't want any of these people to make us or the Bible or Jesus look bad. They just keep doing it. So they can't last if they're going to keep doing that. You're going to promote a fatso like Sam who doesn't work, doesn't take care of his family, is worse than an unbeliever. Says the kind of things you're going to see in a moment about me, everybody. And yet there are people supporting. What does that tell you, right? These people are goblins, right? These are despicable people. You should never be getting them. These people will cut you open. What did Jesus say? Don't throw your pearls, your valuable things before these pigs and dogs. That's who these are. And if you don't see that yet, just move along until you do. And if you don't, good for you. We do. That's not changing. Let me show you. And you tell me what you would do if a fat masturbating pig who doesn't work and even take care of his kids and gets up here and lies about the Bible and shows how stupid he is, nonstop targeted you the way he did me and the Bible and Christianity, okay? This guy supports a pagan church. He supports idolatry, lies. This church, the Catholic Church, they have the worst history imaginable in every way you can think of, okay? Their doctrines they're using to condemn all of us, yeah, no, those weren't doctrines used to condemn anybody in the Bible, because that's not where they come from. They came to us from pagans and people that have nothing to do with the teachings of the Bible. If they did, that's what they would be, right? Exactly. So let's bring up a pig and a fatso and a liar, and let's just see who's really correct when it comes to these biblical issues and facts, and who is the one who does the worst and most despicable attacks. It's Sam. It always has been, and it always will be. This guy lied. The stuff he says tonight, the slander and lies this pig has said about me and other people. You know how many people he has deceived with just his lies about people, like how they look and what they do for their habits, right? He attacks their marriages. This is a disgusting pig. I am shocked at how so many of you tolerate him. Looks like I just lost a light here. I still have one. I don't know what happened. My lights went out. Let me see if I can change that. Oh, good. So don't forget that. And what you're going to see is going to validate what I just said. But I'm pissed off. Okay, that I have to deal with this pig. That I have to take hours away from my life. I mean, look at all the time that I've spent with this guy. This pig, right? This fat masturbating champion who doesn't work or take care of his kids. And all these fags out here promote him and push him until he turns on them. By that time, it's too late, right? He's already said so many disgusting and despicable things. We have to do something about it. This pig has done nothing but damage and destroy and confuse and lie and create hardship and pain and more fat for his body to hide. Even that's getting hard to do, though. So we have the worst, okay? He's number one in blasphemy, you understand? Good. Let me see who's here. We'll get to Fat Sam and his pigness and blubber. His horrific interpretation of John 10, right? This guy's a pig. This guy's so despicable. And just really a bad interpreter, right? He's really just not good. He really repeats a lot of things he's learned, which is good. He's learned, he's been exposed to a lot, like we know, but there is nothing, he's in the shallow end the whole time, right? He's got a lot of that shallow soup. There's no deep end with Sam. This meat, he's got nothing on the bone, just fat. There's no meat, Sam. Fat's not meat, okay? You're confused again. So, all right, we're going to bring up Sam. I've got actually his video up already. So let me bring you guys up. Let me see who's here. Who do we got? You need to see this because now, well, let me show you. Okay, so just so everyone's clear on how this all came about. So as you know, about 6 months ago, Sam has been going insane for several years, of course, against me and our beliefs. He's been malicious and maligning to me and others and to our God nonstop, right? They attack us on our, just watch. Just wait till you hear what this pig says and what the comments from his followers. And if that doesn't upset you, nothing will, right? If your spouse was getting raped in front of you, probably that wouldn't even upset you, right? Some of you, I don't know. I don't know what it's going to take to get you motivated. Either way. So about 6 months ago, Sam was spitting out his fatness, and he was attacking our religion, Christian Witness of Jah. He was getting it all wrong, okay? This genius, who's really an idiot beyond his superficial exposure to a lot of stuff. So he was lying about my religion. We have it on tape, everything. Okay, about 6 months ago. You can go back and look at it. I'm going to show you right now where these are. He was lying about the Christian Witnesses of Jah. He was absolutely maliciously lying, okay? Like he always does, but about me and what I'm trying to help people become to escape false doctrine and focus on the main things. So he's just going crazy. So I started responding to him in the comments. And he said, well, why don't you come up here? Why don't you come on live, you know? And I said, okay, I will. Because it had gotten pretty heated and he made it personal, right? He was coming after me, my religion. I'm not going to let that happen. Especially a fatso who doesn't take care of his kids is worse than an unbeliever. Pig, right? No way. We don't let lesser people determine what's right. We don't let fat, non-working pigs who lie nonstop go unchallenged. That will never, ever happen as long as I'm around and I can make it an issue, especially with this pig, this pervert we all know well and that I've dealt with a long time. So this guy attacked me. I went on live 10 minutes or so. And while I had literally said, okay, I wrote back on the thing. He said, come up, put his stupid little link in there. I said, okay, I'll be there in 10 minutes, right? I wasn't even in this office, nor was I like even, I was just normal. I was doing work around the house, but I was also listening to Sam. So he started talking about me. This all happened. And I was pumped up. I'm like, okay, I don't care, but this guy's an idiot. I've dealt with this fag a long time. There's nothing here, okay? I've already destroyed him. It's just repeat now. Or, he'll come up with some new things. He does know a lot because of his experience, and he's good at arguing that, okay? I don't care. You can compliment Satan in ways. He's still the devil, and he's a liar and a pig. So we don't compliment people and lower our guard. We compliment people, and we smash their guard. So this fatso was on there lying about me and my group and what we do. I went on there within 10 minutes or so. While I was trying to get on there, this freak is like yelling at me, right? I'm listening on I've got my phone there. And then I'm trying to change my shirt and then come into this office where I can sit down and do this here. So I told him I'll be on in 10 minutes. Guy just starts going insane. Like rushing me, you know? All right, I'm going to go. This guy's not going to, he's not going to go. I'm like, dude, if I wasn't going to come on there, I would text you and say something came up and make something up. But I'm not going to do that when I just told you I'm going to do it. And I said 10 minutes. This freak can't even sit still, control himself without going bananas. Okay? He's an emotional wreck. He should be in the hospital or in prison, in the mental ward. But you idiots have him up here acting like a just reject, insulting everybody. So fine, we'll take it and we'll give it back to you double and see how you like it. So this fatso started yelling at me and rushing me while I'm coming on his show to defend him. I get on there, as you know, if you've seen it, it starts out somewhat normal, but you can see what's on my mind, right? What he's been saying about our group. That was the first 2 minutes of the show. Because that's what I went on there to talk about. And it was fairly normal. We actually made a little progress, it seemed, right? Now, why he didn't know already just shows you how stupid he is. He doesn't even listen to people, usually. He doesn't. But he regularly admits he hasn't heard or read something he's responding to. So right there, you know you have a disgrace and a humiliation, which we already know. Proverbs 18:13. Plus everything too. This is not a one-time thing, though, okay? He regularly doesn't read or listen to what he's allegedly responding to. You'll see it tonight. Guy's crazy. Spreads rumors. He'll just make up a rumor. Like in this video, you're going to see he says, I'm on crack. I'm on cocaine. Okay, this fat pig maliciously attacks people's character when he's the worst character. Ask yourself, what kind of person would you have to be that pathetic and fat and even raise your voice to someone, right? Yet this pig gets up here and attacks everybody he's the easiest target to hit. And he's constantly firing at everybody else. What does that tell you? He's so insecure you're going to fire at him. He wants to kill you first. He's a narcissist. He's full of pig fat and blubber. And so we got to deal with all this crap, right? Because these other idiots can't control him. No, they've all empowered him until just recently, the Eastern Orthodox all loved him. See how quickly it changes? See how quickly it changes with the Protestants? They still want him back, right? Are you kidding me? What the hell's wrong with you guys? You can't see a wolf and a pig and a liar and a blasphemer? Of course you can't. Because you're just the same, just not Sam. Otherwise, you'd see it easily, like it'd be obvious, right? Just like his pig fat. So let me show you. Right? So we've been just annihilating this guy, right? I mean, there's nothing left of Sam, okay? He's just been destroyed in every way. Now, there's a few things, yes, we're going to finish off, and there'll always be something, right? But look, I mean, it's beyond comprehension how much we've annihilated this guy. It's just something you have to really go see. These are things, right? We got 10-hour live videos, 8-hour live videos, right? Just totally shredding his videos, frame by frame almost, right? He can't do that. He doesn't have the ability. He can barely handle a 10-minute video. Now, these right here below the picture, my picture, you could see Jake and William the Pagan over here on the far left. All right. And then to the right of that, I'm going to leave it like this because this shows what I need you to see. See these 3 videos from the right of Jake and William, right below my picture? Right. So if we go right across, the ones that are activating right now, right? See, so this first one right here was me doing part 1 of my response to Sam's part 1 review of my debate with Dr. White. Okay? So Sam started doing a debate series review, and he started reviewing my debate with Dr. White. This video on the far right below me with the ghost whispering into Sam's mind, as often happens, that's part 1 of my response to Sam's part 1 of his review of our debate, my debate with Dr. White. Okay, now between that video, the ghost in Sam's mind, and this Bruce Lee Sam here, is when the whole William thing happened. William, Sam, and what I just described a minute ago when I went on his show. So you can see, now I added part 1 to the title today. That wasn't there before, but that's all. Now I'm going to make them bigger. Let's see if I can get all 3 on here. Okay, okay, well, we'll just do it this way, right? Okay, that's good. All right, so if we go to the one below here, the blue one, the one with the ghost and the blue writing in Sam's mind, his horrified face, that's part 1 where the whole White debate review thing got started. Then in between that and the Bruce Lee video to the far right above, across from me, is when I went on Sam's show and things broke down. And then after the breakdown and Sam kicked me off, he lied to everybody and did videos with people like God Logic and others, spreading them, lying to everybody that I ran away from this fatso when he killed himself. After I killed him, right? Twice dead, Sam, it's over. So then after he kicked me off, after I destroyed him and William, he started doing another live on this whole debate review. So then I went live and started doing a live destruction of his review, of his live review of our debate. Whereas the one with the ghost in Sam's mind, the blue writing down there below me, that was just an uploaded video, or it might have been a live, but it wasn't me. Like, I went to Sam's channel on that Bruce Lee video, and we started like watching him as he was live. Like if he was live now, he probably is, right? Maybe we'll go to him. Hopefully he's watching though. If he's at all normal and he's not, he should be watching, right? It's about him and us. So anyway, that's why I titled the Bruce Lee video, Live Destruction of Shamunian's live stream, JW's James White and Greg Stafford. Now he was on part 2 there, okay? Because the Ghost in Sam's Mind video, the blue writing down there below me, that's my review of his part 1. So then he started doing part 2 live after I went on his program. And so I then started live destroying him at part 2. So these all go together, but they're different. They're differently labeled because when I did the live destruction, I wasn't sure how the whole series would go. I was planning on doing like regular live destructions of Sam. He really pissed me off with his bad behavior and fatness and pigness and blubber and throwing me off in line, right? And okay, so then after this part here, where I went live and destroyed him, now we're after my debate with Sam. Not debate. Well, I went on his show and we had a conversation, went back and forth with him and William, and he killed himself. When I went on his show is what I meant to say. So this Bruce Lee video was the first live after that appearance. Then I went and I did it again okay? Or I did another, it wasn't a live destruction like the Bruce Lee was, where I went there and started live interacting with Sam. He was interacting with me too. You can see it in that video. And I've done clips from it. You're going to see it again tonight because we're going to pick up right there, okay? We're going to pick up here where Sam made me laugh so hard. The one thing he's good for, that and sodomy, if you're homo. And we're not, but he is, so, you know. Either way, he's effeminate and lusted after me and Bo Branson. So here, though, I had to stop this stream. I did. I really did. Because, and everyone knows, you can see it yourself if you just watch that video with Sam as Bruce Lee, the part 1 live destruction. I'll show it to you again, but you saw it. We reached a point where Sam began manifesting. He did. He manifested effeminacy. Then he went insane because he started to realize I was watching him. And Sam is already barely hanging on, right? He's already just going insane. He hates it when other people are focused on anything else. That's why you'll see him constantly telling his people not to go. You know, he does it tonight. Very insecure, very insecure. So, but when he realized I was watching him, his demon horde supporters, they kept telling him, hey, Greg's watching you. Greg's watching you. And so Sam started to realize, okay, Stafford's like, he's got me on his live stream. So he started manifesting. He was really one of the best things ever. You know, one of Sam's moments of just pure entertainment, where if he could just do that, right? You missed your calling, Sam. You should have been like an actor or an impressionist or maybe a comedian, right? You could have done it if you would have tried hard and not gotten so insecure and hung up over your false doctrine. You probably could have been good at impressions, right? Because the demons are really doing that. He's manifesting, right? So he could just, like a superpower with Sam, right? He could just take advantage of the demons and say, hey, they think I'm going to act right now. So go ahead and manifest something, okay? And there's, boom, something you've never seen before and no one could possibly duplicate by acting. So he's got something there, and he did that. He manifested, as I said, in feminine. He started to become effeminate. You know, he did various things. I don't want to get too much into right now. Maybe we'll see. But then, okay, this is where it all collapsed. And I couldn't handle it. Sam, in one sense, he got a victory of sorts there, right? But that's not the kind of Sam, that's not a victory. Okay, so Sam was, no, you're supposed to like maintain yourself so we can finish the conversation, Sam. You are capable of abandoning when you're being annihilated or insecure beyond belief by going insane, and people can't help but react, right? People are blown away by Sam when we see this activity, right? When we see this dramatic display of, well, in this case, it was Golem. I don't know if you've ever seen Lord of the Rings, but he did that. He started doing that. So, in any case, I had to stop this video right here, this part 1 live destruction. In the middle, well, I wasn't in the middle yet. We're going to finish it tonight. But about an hour into my live review of his part 2. So we got to go back and finish that because even though there's really nothing in there I haven't destroyed, why not, right? And this will complete it. And I already had reviewed what he said there, and I have tons of stuff to show he's retarded. It's over, Sam. And we'll get to this whole snatched out of my hand. Oh, he's crazy. So I figured, let's do that. There's a few things we can talk more about with Sam that will keep him from feeling comfortable, right? We want Sam discomforted, you understand? We want him feeling like he's in, like, uh-oh, control, right? I'll save that for the right time. Okay, we'll see. We know about it. So then in any case, I came back after I left this stream here, right? Because of what I said. But then I did come back and I did another part of another video. Okay, but I hadn't, you can see Sam's in a different shirt there. But that's why this is part 2 of destroying at Shamunian, right? So see the ghost in Sam's mind there with the blue writing? Destroying Shamunian, Trinitarianism, James White debate with Stafford. That's part 1. Then we go to this live destruction over here of his part 2 that I didn't finish. And then I added a part to the destroying, right? Not live destruction, to kind of go with this video with the ghost in Sam's mind. So you see what happened? It got kind of out of sync because primarily Sam made me laugh so hard, I had to stop his part 2. So a part kind of got out of order and became part of this new live destruction series. So this video right now that we're doing is going to be part 2 of the live destruction because it's the easiest way for me to connect it with this Bruce Lee part 1. And then everyone will know, okay, that's where even though I had to stop part 1 because of the insanity, part 2 is where I picked it up. You see where I'm going? So I'm trying to explain to you why it's titled this way in comparison with the other 3 videos in this series. The whole history of this issue with Sam and this debate with Dr. White and the whole insanity of going on his show and what kind of led to all these videos right here. It was pretty wild, man. He's crazy. So now let's go to it. We're going to go back to the video in this one right here, the Bruce Lee video that I had to quit because of Sam and his perversion. Well, you'll see he's still manifesting, so you're going to get to see more of Sam, right? And he didn't stop there. Now, Sam becomes very insulting to me, as I said. I don't think you guys realize this. You know, Sam has been and still is, but even more so then. He's out of his mind, right? He's just you'll hear it, but it's pretty bad. So let me just say hi to everyone, though, before we get to the video with Sam and his manifestations. Sweet Science. He says, I never should have left Jehovah's Witnesses. Well, wouldn't they have kicked me out, right, if I didn't do everything they said? So it wouldn't have mattered. Read the Gospels. That's the name of this person. Good evening, Greg. Good evening to you. Read the Gospels. That's a good name, by the way, right? Because it helps people think. Read the Gospels. Read the Gospels. All right. Maybe someone should get a channel, right? Annihilate Sam. So every time people see that, right? Well, we see it so much already. Zohar. Very nice. And Betsy. So nice to have you here. Together with David Bannister. 3 of our very regular and beloved members here. Czar, Betsy, and David. Not that Sweet Science and Read the Gospels aren't, but some have been here longer, you know, so I'm just trying to give you a little bit of recognition there. I appreciate that. Jacobson, good evening to you. It looks like Plala Lasso. Debunk David Wood, please. On what? Sam's better than him in every way on the Trinity. So why would I do that? What's the point? You got a special argument of David Wood that Sam doesn't use? Then you can share it. Talking about Sam tonight, though, in a minute. Yes, the Bible's against being fat. There's no question. Right now, we understand. I'm not here to, if you have a thyroid condition or even if you have an eating problem and you're working on it or you're honest. It's just like homosexuals, right? Bible's very clear, is it not, everybody? Whether you're fat or not? Okay, but homosexuals don't like being told that's wrong. Well, so what, right? Are we going to offend them or are we going to do what's right? Right? They're the ones doing what's wrong and they just don't like us telling them about it. And the same with fat people who don't have any control, like Sam and William previously. We'll see. But Sam is out of control, right? On all levels. Brian Craig, you are spot on about Hasamo. He will always be Sam to me. But I understand I appreciate that. Let's see what's going on here. Okay. You guys are on fire. Very nice. Traditional RC, he used to attack me viciously. I think a lot of people have forgotten what this guy has done, the things he's said about me. I haven't, okay, so at most I call him a pig, a fatso, right? And what I say may be harsh and strong, but it's based on like actually what he does or is, right? He's making stuff up. Oh, yes, he is. You're going to see tonight he accuses me of using drugs, of being a crack user, of using coke. He's crazy, okay? So there should be no confusion about why I'm harsh with Sam. This guy is despicable. He doesn't represent the Bible, and he lies to people all the time. I'm going to make it very clear exactly what he is so no one is confused. There is no nice way to beat a wolf's ass. You either smack its ass and get it out of here, or you're going to lose a sheep, Savannah. And if you don't want to be protected by people who aren't going to take crap from these pigs and wolves, good luck to you. I hope you have a good shepherd who doesn't fall victim to someone who pretends to be a victim while they're one of the most despicable, if not number one, in that category, person on the planet. In terms of blasphemy, sodomy, and fatness. Matthew, pig is delicious, Greg. Well, that's up to you. We're talking about Sam, though, right? He's out of control. Sam's not in control. He says he has a food addiction. No, he does not. Everybody's addicted to food. We have to eat food to live, Sam. You have a bad food addiction. You literally plan your cheat days. And there's no such thing as a cheat day. Every day's a cheat day for Sam. You guys are funny. Unitarian pre-existent subordinationist. Awesome. Anytime I can say that name, I like that. I like it when you're here. I know I can say that name. Savannah Ford. So you call him fat and pig. Big man. Well, Savannah, he is fat, right? Are you not? You don't see that? Jesus called people like Sam pigs and dogs and wolves. Those are the primary terms we use for Sam. Those fit. I'm sorry. He's number one, right? He's number one in all those categories. Number one. There is not another person who is more befitting of these. Well, maybe, right. There may be someone who's more fitting of fat, right? Like praise I am. I'm talking about the despicable terms, okay? You just don't like that we're confronting Sam. Get over it. Wipe the sweat off my face. See, Savannah, it's not sweat. See, this is how they are, everybody. We know, right? We know that's either Sam or that's XJW Laura. We know XJW Laura is obsessed with my face and Bo Branson, right? Even though she's married. That's shame right there. We know how these people are, right? We have them. They love it. They love to come here. Sam is obsessed with my face. He is, and he's gay, right? We've seen it. We have evidence. He's going to do it tonight. You're going to see in a minute. Oh, it's out of control. He's out of control. Oh, so Savannah Ford, you're clearly here to be a pervert, right? Well, Savannah, I just told you, King Eglon in the Bible is called very fat. The Apostle Paul refers to unemployed fatzos in Titus 1:12. And Jesus refers to people who are pigs, dogs, and wolves. So either you're Sam, you're XJW Laura, and you don't know the Bible, or you're Albie and you're gay, right? I'm going to let you stay here, Savannah, even though you're insulting me because I'm a nice person, right? See, isn't that good? Sam loves, these guys, the way they talk about me, I sit in this office. It's kind of evening now, and so I have my lights on. But many times, like recently I did a video where it is during the day, and my blinds are open. Sometimes I'll close them, but I get full sunlight right here when I want it. And I like to let natural light in, and I won't use my regular lights. So if I do a video recording or live stream during the day, then the light of the sun is like right, even in part, it's hitting my face. See, I don't care about, I'm not coming on here for a fashion show, you fags. You guys are gay. This is proof right here, and we know it. Okay. I mean, I try to look presentable. That's it. I'm not here to score points with you queers or I'm here to teach the truth about the Bible, right? Talk about spiritual things and deal with fatzos, pigs. These guys and girls, they come on here and they talk about my face, right? They say I'm skinny when I'm like, I'm just ripped. I get thin when I want to. I was thinking about the other day, I'm like at my perfect weight, probably my thinnest, but I like that. I know how to control my biochemistry, unlike you fatzos and others. So, I can put on or take off 10, 20 pounds pretty easily. But I like being light because I like to maintain strength to weight ratio and keep it as good as I can, as strong as I can, as light as I can, and I'm healthier. Cartilage is better, my joint. Oh, see, you guys are just... It shows how stupid you guys are. You'd rather take cheap shots at me and show me how dumb you are with biology, biomechanics, physiology. I'm going to live way past 100, and I'm going to be kicking Sam's ass all the time. So for the next 5-6 decades, I'm going to be pounding this guy into the ground. This fatso is going to be in the ground probably within 5 years, right? He's about to die, right? So, Sam, how does it make you feel that your fatness and pigness and blubber is going to lead you to an early grave, and me taking care of my weight and my face is going to let me spend decades more while you're gone, making sure everyone knows while you were here, you were gone. I'm just going to pound you into the ground, Sam. We'll visit your grave every year and make sure there's enough dirt on there that no one will ever think you're getting out of there, right? We'll make sure. Don't worry. Yeah. No, we'll leave you a Kit Kat, okay? We won't be selfish and just desecrate the dead. We know you're fat and in the grave, so we'll leave you a memento. And then I'm going to go do a video and tell everyone how wrong you were again. So just keep that in mind, okay, Sam? You keep getting fatter and unhealthier. I'm going to keep staying strong, lean, tight, and mean. So that I'm sure I have decades beyond your life here to annihilate you, okay? Just tons of videos and books and writings so everyone knows, yeah, that guy was fat. He was a pig. Okay, so Savannah, we're going to let you stay here and insult me, okay? Drinking your own sweat. Very nice of you. I don't know. I mean, you might not make it. I can take a lot. We'll see. But you're taking, why now the insults have to, Savannah, try. Unless you're Sam. If you're I think you're ex-JW Laura. I think she's been traumatized by Bo Branson and that video Sam did. Diligent Disciple, good to see you. You might not make it, though, so better watch it. We're not here for you guys, right? I was telling Elsa Cootie the other day, I think it's her name. Elsie. Come back. You need to come back, right? I was not saying I didn't want to entertain you. I thought you were being mean to me. And so I wasn't therefore there to entertain a mean person, Elsie. But you weren't being mean, so I am here for you. I'm here to entertain. It looks like Diligent Disciple doesn't understand that. He might be gay, though, right? A lot of these guys are fags. You got to check with them. Remember, that's one question. Savannah Ford and Diligent Disciple, can you let us all know if either of you have been sodomized? Can you tell us yes or no on that? Just say yes sodomy, no sodomy. If it was forced on you, if you were forcibly raped, I don't care about the YouTube guy. I'm not here for all that crap. If you were forcibly sodomized, Savannah, That's different. It's still, we got to know that you damaged, but you didn't like willingly go with it. So that's okay. And then diligent disciple. If you ever launched yourself onto a cucumber, we need to know that, okay? Have you ever had a penile organ into your anus? Yes or no? Okay, we need to know that, and we need to know if you're a flat earther, okay? Either one of those and you guys are gone, okay? I can take the insults, but if you willingly accepted a man's penis into your rear end, or willingly promoted flat earth after thinking about it, no. Nope. Gotta go. Charlie Stallings, I already told you what Jesus would say. Are you deaf, stupid, or dumb? Do you know there's a whole book in the Bible, Charlie, called Proverbs, where it talks about people being deaf, stupid, and dumb, like you? Right? Charlie, we're not really interested in what Jesus would say because we already know and you don't, so it doesn't matter. You're a pig, a wolf, and a dog, okay? And according to Paul, fatso. You ever read the Bible? No, you guys are just stupid and lie. So, Charlie, if you're going to stay here to watch the show, I need to know if you've had a dick in your ass, okay? And I need to know if you've ever believed in flat earth. I need to know right now. Put it down. Matthew loves pig. So, WTF, pal, they're back on my face again. These guys are gay, right? These guys are just shoving cucumbers up their anus, right? Like that guy with the lunch pail and the car grill. WTF, pal, is probably Albie with Sam's, well, Sam's in reversion, so it's just going to have to scissor. Yeah, you know what, WTF, pal, no one believes you. Your comment is pretty wild about what, I'm wearing lipstick? No, you fag. Who else but a queer would look at a guy and start thinking about his face like that, right? What, you've never seen normal lips? Right, because you've been using your anus to talk your whole life, right, WTF, pal? Man. Yeah, WTF, pal, we know this Sam is you, right? You're the only one who would pretend that you don't know who Sam is. Good try, Sam. We know all the tactics. Don't, it's not working here. Okay, so we've got a group of perverts here for the show. We've got some perverts. They're active. This is normal. This is good. Okay, so I'm going to try. I haven't banned anyone yet. No, there's a few here, Savannah. Wait, I'm going to watch you, right? Because you've been active. I think you're ex-JW Laura, though. I think the face comments that gave you away. And then probably Sam or Albie, because they're gay, are WTFPAL. That's my suspicion right there. Keep an eye on them, everybody. Okay, we're going to get to the show now. We're going to watch Sam collapse and destroy himself with the Bible. He does something so unbelievable. He literally lies. I mean, it's the worst thing I've ever seen, probably, except for God Logic's use of Hebrews 1, right? Sam avoids my unanswerables question and comment about the first class conditional sentence in John 10:35, which requires that his citation of Psalm 82 is for the purpose of showing he's not blaspheming by calling himself God's son. There's no other answer, Sam. Okay, so I'm going to show you how stupid you are tonight, Sam. There's going to be a clip from this. Sam Shamoon is a full retard who doesn't know what a first-class conditional sentence is. That's how stupid you are, Sam. You're going to get it, pal. This might even feature in my Greek video, where I'm going to show how stupid Sam and his Greek pagans were about the New Testament letter openings and the singular verb there, how they blew that in spite of all their Greek knowledge, right? Gone! And retarded. So Sam does something like that tonight. Oh, it's bad. So he knows he can't defeat me on the first class conditional argument. No one can. It's over, right? That's why I did that. It's over. There is no answer because that's what the grammar is. It's not like changeable, right? Like Jesus. So Sam completely ignores what the grammar actually requires Jesus citation of Psalm 82 to be for. There's no other way, pal. It's over. You might as well shove a cucumber in your face and have Albie, sprinkle some melted Kit Kat on it. So he's going to get smashed in every way tonight. I wish I didn't have to quit this, but because of his pigness and fatness last time I had to, and blubber, right? His blubber is boiling over, right? He's bad. There's no question. This is all true, right? Titus 1:12, gluttons, unemployed fatsos. Sorry, no. King Eglon is very fat. So that's not good either. So we just go with the Bible here. Now let's go to Sam, who does not use the Bible. He pretends to because he's a pig, like Jesus said. Don't throw your pearls before these pigs and fatsos, right? Okay, so where's that video? So I have that there. Let me make sure I have. So I showed you guys the other videos that led to all this, right? How this fits in. And then there's a video I'm going to want to show you on these churches. Okay, let me see if I can pull that up so I have that ready here. I don't want to have to go hunting for this later, but I want to get going here. So it should be right here. I can just show a few slides from that. Once I pull that up, we're ready to go. I've got Sam all set up, so hang tight. We're about to start. We're going to listen to this pig and fatso manifest his demon, the demon Golem and other demons, because he's a demonized pig who lies about the Bible. Lies about people, right? Defames people. Like these idiots in the comments who defame people. They just come here and they attack people for how they look because they don't have any arguments, right? This is the church, right? This is the great pagan church. And its history of paganism, right? All this stuff these guys have done. Where's this video? Let's see, it should be right here. Video on the churches and the collapse and why that's happening. You guys got to see this. I'm not going to play the whole thing, but at some point I'm going to bring this up so I can show you guys some statistics. This guy shows that these guys are gone, right? That the stuff, all this Trinitarian stuff, like I've been telling you, it's just making people want to quit, right? Nobody is turned on by any of this because, I think I went past it, because these guys can't figure out anything, right? They're in constant disagreement. All they ever want to do is argue, right? There it is right there. The coming church attendance crisis. Let me just click that and then I'll pause it and mute it. We'll come back to him. Let's see here. This video right here. I'm going to show you a couple clips from that, right? So let's see. We'll leave that there for now. But let's go back to Sam. Let's get to him. He's gone. This is over. All right, this now you're going to see, okay, you're going to be reminded, if you haven't been reminded recently, of what a pig and a fatso Sam is. He's despicable. He is. Sam, shame. Okay, this is no exception. No excuse, Sam. No excuse for this behavior, right? And you're ridiculous, right? As I said, you literally are destroying your own daughters, your very intelligent daughters, no thanks to you, future, by your handicap, right? Your food addiction, right? This is unacceptable. Not supposed to be happening like that. And yet we have to look out for Sam's kids, right? It's like unbelievable, right? He's like the main blasphemer against our religion, our God, and we got to actually it's unbelievable. It's what narcissists do. They make everybody else's problems, right? They bring their kids into it. It's just unbelievable. That's what they do. They can't help it. So, okay, we're right here. All right, let me bring up Sam and the part. We're going to start at minute 58, second 21. Oh, he looks very sick right there. He looks like he's about to cry. You can see his manifestations, his mini manifestations. Look at him. So this is literally right where I had to stop. This is where it all happened right here. Well, right before this. Right before this radiant pervert manifested and collapsed into a ball of garbage, right? So we had to suspend the discussion. Now, let me just one more quick check. Let's do one more quick check because I know I gave the Savannah and Charlie. I asked Charlie, Savannah, and Diligent Disciple, I think, was that his name? I asked all three of you, I said, I need to know if you've been sodomized, right? Has the anal area been breached on you forcibly? If it was forcibly, then that's not like bad. I need to know that though. And if you willingly were sodomized, whether you just tried it one day or you saw a cucumber in your lunch pail and you got curious, I need to know. Okay, for continued discussion, it's everybody. And I need to know if you've ever seriously believed in flat earth. All three of you right now. And so all three of those questions need to be put down. If so, out of here, right? There's no real exception there because there's no recovery, right? You can repent and maybe over time, like if you said, hey, Greg, yeah, I'm working on it though. I'm recovering. Okay. But we're not going to put ourselves no, we're not going to allow ourselves to be like around people who are that damaged. You understand? So if you've been sodomized, if your anus and your brain from flat earth have been compromised, it's not going to work. So Brett McIver, yes, no, the king actually talks exactly like I did to pagans and Pharisees and fags like you. So Brett, why don't you go ahead and jump on that cucumber and sodomize yourself, okay? Because no one asked you to come here and tell us stupidity. There's a whole book called Proverbs about dummies and idiots. Jesus says people are pigs, dogs, and wolves, dead bones and graves. And Paul says people are unemployed fatzos. So everything I'm saying, and there's more. Okay, I didn't even get to the Jude stuff or the heavy Paul stuff. So you're just a pig and a fatso, and instead of helping the poor and the lowly or getting a life, you actually waste your time at someone else's stream so you can be deleted. Nice job, Einstein. These people are so stupid, everybody. Remember, the Emperor and Mace Windu, they love to pretend that they're just trying to tell you to be nicer. These are wolves in sheep's clothing. What do you think they're going to tell you? To be a good shepherd and to beat their ass like I'm doing? Of course not. They're going to lie to you like the pig fatzos they are. And not one of these cucumbers in the chat, these homos, says this to Sam. You understand? None of them. None of them say it to Sam. None of them say it to the demonized pastor, who also is with Sam because they're gay. These fags literally leave their wives to get nailed by the mailman, or in Sam's case, he doesn't go anywhere. So he just collapses and keeps doing what he does. Either way, their followers then attack my physical appearance and then pretend like they actually follow Jesus while they're promoting a demonized pastor and a fat masturbating non-worker who's worse than an unbeliever. You understand? So Brett McIver, who came in here and sodomized yourself, just remember, you stood up for someone the Bible says is worse than an unbeliever. Congratulations. What a great use of your time. But not really. Okay, so we got rid of that pervert. We'll let, looks like Savannah and other few others have pulled back low. They know I'm onto them. I can tell. I'm good. Sam is very active. I'm the counter to Sam. You understand? Sam had to be countered. He was out of control, as you're going to see right now, and he's been out of control a long time. And if I did not rise up with God's Spirit and beat his ass like the chief wolf and pig he is, he would be doing this even worse. He was out of control, and he's still out of control, but I beat his ass down enough to where it's a little bit better. You know what I mean? So I don't want to hear it. No one has been dealing with Sam as much as I have. And all these other people are supporting pigs, fatzos, and pastors who can't even keep control of their flock. Okay, let's get to Fat Sam. Right? Oh, man, look at him. Look at this. Look at this pervert. He's going to cry. I think he's going to cry. Sam, are you going to cry? Oh, we feel so sorry for a fatso who lies about everybody, breaks up marriages, destroys his own daughter's future so he can be wheeled around to buffets, and lies about people and claims they use drugs when he sits around and consumes melted Kit Kats all day, right? This is who we have. Let's listen.
That he's not my precious. He's not my precious. Staffy, come out to play. Hold on. Let's do this. Hold on, Staffy. Let me see if I can beatify myself for you, Staffy. I know, Crystals. Crystals, I know. Staffy! What's the matter, Staffy? Staffy, what's the matter? Are you upset that you're not my type?
Did you hear that lisp? Listen. Listen to his homosexual lisp.
What's the matter? Are you upset?
Right there, you heard it, right? Are you upset? Now, listen, he's also going to, like, he's hitting on me by pretending he doesn't want to hit on me. Like, listen.
You're not my type? Are you upset that you look like a crackhead? Sweating? Who has jaundice? And you're not attractive? So even if I was a homo?
There's no if, Sam. Normal men don't act like this, okay? The jig is up. You're gay. Now, you're just attacking my appearance in ways that make you feel better about yourself, right? We get it. It's very obvious. You're a catastrophe. Nothing you're saying about me is true. You're just lying, right? So either way, at least you're gay, and we know it.
I would say to you, no, if I was homo, Staffy, because you're too ugly, Staffy.
See, even just to think that way, right? For your mind as a man to even go to that place, right? It's over. We know. Look at this disguise he has, right? Why does he have this disguise? Where is he going with this disguise on, right? He obviously doesn't want to be seen. So, I mean, there's something going on with Sam beyond what any of us know. I'm convinced of it.
Come out to play. Master hurts us. Master. He hurts us, Master. He hurts us. Logos. Theos. Okay, we're ready now? He's going to now die of a heart attack. He's going to die of a heart attack, I swear. Because he's watching me live, right? Thank you. I want to now use this as a picture. Here you go, Daffy. Daffy, come out to play. Okay, now that we got that argument, leave his 12 followers alone. Leave his 12 followers alone.
See how his insecurity is? He knows I'm watching right now. Remember I told you this is a continuation. We're going to finish off what we started in that part 1 live stream I showed you with the Sam Bruce Lee face. But you notice he can't stop thinking about my followers, no matter how many. He says, see, his insecurity is on another level. Right? This guy is just nowhere near anything you could describe as a Christian.
Oh, you did? Are you kidding me? Really, Jeremy?
It was during the stream, and his followers were over there, and him and William were being fat. So I lifted up my shirt just to show him that what I did was I challenged them. They kept saying they're not fat. William, this was about William in particular. William was saying he's not fat because I started saying he was fat. And this was all happening during that stream that he's talking about right now that is actually happening while he's talking. We just had to stop it. So I said, William, it's real simple. Just lift up your shirt and let's see if you're fat, right? He's literally denying he's fat, while we can all see he's fat. So we have a denial, and we have people who believe he is. It's real simple, right? All you have to do is just lift up your shirt, and there's the end. It's over, right? We'll be able to tell, okay, he is fat, he's not fat. He wouldn't do it. Sam won't do it. I did it. Because I'm not a fatso like these pigs. I'm actually a normal in shape guy. These fags lie about me all the time when they're pigs. You can see they're obsessed with appearances because they're gay. So I don't have to sit here and lie, you understand? If I'm going to tell you I'm in shape and not fat, I can easily prove it. I don't need to play this stupid game. These pigs do. So we get in these kind of discussions where they won't prove the obvious. I do. And then they ridicule me for proving what's true while they can't. This is who we're dealing with.
Jeremy, didn't I say stop going there? What's wrong with you, man?
In other words, Jeremy, I think he said, it says Jeremy. Maybe he's got a gerbil in his pants. I don't know. In other words, Jeremy, don't you see this cult leader's trying to make sure you do what he says? He can barely handle himself on a live stream for 10 minutes with somebody. So he can't handle you going over to my channel. No, it destroys his sense of security. So he's already told you, Jeremy, multiple times not to go. What are you doing? He's the cult leader.
He lifted up his shirt to show he's lean? Of course, Greg.
Sam's like, I got to go see, right? I got to see I'm gay. He wants to. I can tell he's probably scrolling back. He's probably like, when he's watching my live too, because I'm watching him. So he's probably like going back to see if he can find out where I did it so he can see if his inches will work, right? I don't know. What I'm thinking about, what was that story? There was a story, George. If George Lopez is here, who was that guy? There was a story about Sam. It was about a year ago I heard about it, where Sam was like staying in a room with somebody overnight and he walked out of his room naked, right? Was that Albie? I want to know. If that was Albie, oh, it's over. But there was someone. This is a true story. I'm not lying. I'm not like Sam, okay? He lies. I don't know who it was, but this definitely happened. Sam even admitted it because he was talking about it. That's how I heard. He said someone was out there telling about the story, how he walked out of the room he was staying with the other person in, and Sam walked out of his room with his inches, right? And with his inches showing or whatever's there. But the guy at that time, it was several years ago, he actually had some inches there. Recently, Sam has said it's not responsive, no matter what. No, whatever. At one point, though, it was there, and he walked out of his room naked. And the guy he was with, it was some evangelical guy, I think it was Albie. George, tell me. So, and this was Sam telling the story. That's why, I wasn't like him, right? Listening to someone else. Sam, now, his version may be distorted, right? Of course. But Sam said that because the person was overreacting, that he was going to just explain that no, that Sam's explanation was that in his culture, his Assyrian culture or whatever, it's normal to just walk right out with your member showing, right? Yeah, Sam, just walk down to the grocery store and walk inside and tell them that, hey, I'm an Assyrian, so you're going to have to put up with my inches, right? Go do that, Sam. Go into a grocery store, a gas station, and anywhere else in the world with your inches out. And see how that goes over. Yeah, no, it's not normal, Sam. It's indicative of you being a fag.
You're lean. That's from all the crack that you've been doing. You know crack? Because you look.
You see that? First of all, did you see the way he held that? It was like he knew exactly how long the pipe was, right? Right, or Albie's cock. Either way, look at that. So he's doing something, right? That was too well measured. He just accused me of using crack, right? Like the only way I could be lean, the only way I could look good is if I'm taking drugs. According to Sam, apparently, that's the only explanation he can come up with. Not that I've worked out my whole life. Not that I have a very deep knowledge of biochemistry and physiology, right? No, I have to be taking crack and cocaine, and he's not fat, right? This is the world of Sam.
Look like a crackhead, dude. Maybe if I want to lose weight, I'll do crack with you.
Do you see what we're dealing with, everybody? So, again, he has been accusing me so far of he attacked me visually. And again, I can tolerate some of this. But when you get to this point, right, where you're spreading rumors, and he goes further. This is just the start. When you start talking about people's, illegal habits, allegedly, right? You're in another level, Sam. I realize you're too stupid to have any kind of control. But this is why we have to blame William and everybody else for allowing this fatso to be on here.
Because you're all cracked up. Did you get it? You're all cracked up?
Well, he's not going to be laughing it away in a minute. You'll see.
All right. Can we focus, guys? Because you guys, it's all about this dude. Can we now focus?
Right. Well, your whole live stream is actually titled about me. And we realize you're breaking down because you're insecure and your audience is actually enjoying the joint stream. But because you're a pig and a fatso, you go ahead and ruin it.
You're all cracked up. All right, let's go. Oh, boy. Thank you, Nova. Keep praying that I love Jesus even unto death. All right, let's go to the article. Yep. All right, let's go. All right, let's go to the article. Okay, here. Tell you what. Tell your 12 followers that I blocked. If they contact me on Skype, I'll unblock them and bring them back. I'll forgive them. Because I don't want them to be exposed to this abuse. Seeing a crackhead.
Well, see, listen, he just called me a crackhead again. Listen.
Who is frail and thin and pale. When he turns sideways, he disappears. I don't want.
All right, so he's ongoingly insulting me here, talking about the people that go to his channel that he's banned, right? Everyone he bans because he can't answer their questions, right? I'm telling you, this guy he has no He's not a normal person, okay? He's a pervert and a fag. And all he does is sit here and try to get his inches to work.
Want you to traumatize them. Here, this is what Greg Stafford looks like. Hey, Greg, hold on, guys. This is comedy hour. Hey, Greg, this is what you look like, dude. So when I debate you, this is you right here. This is Greg right here. You see? See what you guys did? You made me go bats. This is Greg. See? Hey, Greg, I want to ask you something. Oh, hold on. Wait, he's got hair. Okay, so let's do it this way. This is Greg. See, he's like, you know, this is what it is. This is what happens when you do crack. Hey, Greg, this is what happens when you do crack, Greg. See, this, Greg, what's up, dude? Nice hair, dude, brother. Make sure, Greg, you don't brush aside or sweep away the arguments. Get it?
You can count on that, pal.
Sweep away the arguments. Hey, Greg. Look at Greg. Greg, damn. Did you get a hair transplant, Greg? Greg. Look at Greg, guys. Damn, you're skinny, Greg. Dude, where are you? Oh, there you go. Oh, there he goes right here. Here you go. Right here. See? Hey, Greg, did you get a hair transplant, Greg? Nice hair, dude. Now make sure you don't sweep away or brush aside the argument. Greg, come out to play. Greg, will you stay? Greggy, he hurts us. He hurts us. Oh, Greggy, he hurts us. Hurts us. He hurts us. Oh, Greggy, he hurts us.
I thought I saw it. It's barely visible. This is very interesting. He's got a double tartar extension lip lift going on right now. I don't know if I want to try to get it to where you can see what I...
He hurts us. He hurts us. Oh, Greggy, he hurts us.
Okay, I got it. I was just trying to do like a miracle. And see, the Holy Spirit's with us and not with Sam. So, as you can see right here, look at this. Look what we have here. We have something unusual. We have Sam manifesting again, right, as a demon and a pervert. But the signs we've seen before that go with the manifestation, in addition to his, you know, overall patheticness, right? We once again have the rounded shoulders, like a half of a bagel, like someone took half of a bagel and put it around Sam's shoulders and around his head. And then his face is fully contorted, right? But the mouth is really what we need to see here. We've seen this before. We've seen the demons are capable of constructing mineral concretions, right? The mouth and the saliva and everything, it produces a lot of minerals and enzymes and things that can crystallize. They crystallize, and if you don't take care of if you don't have good oral hygiene, like if you're just a dirty fat pig, you know, then you know you don't brush, you don't floss, you don't go to the dentist, right? You eat a lot of junk food, all that sugar creates bacteria in your mouth, and that bacteria, it brings out all of these toxic elements and other elements like the enzymes, and they create, if the demons have any authority over his mouth, because the way they make him talk, right? They would have to. There's no way any normal human mouth could let out that much blasphemy. So we know they work there. And you can see here, he has like a vampire tartar lip lift condition. It's vampiric. It has like, it's like he's growing new teeth, you see? He's growing vampire teeth. The other one we saw before, you know, the one where we looked at the tartar lip lift, it was just on the one side, remember? It was on the one side where the demon, the dark side. He had then that one video, it was this video, but it was another one earlier where the light was on one side of the moon of his face, but the demons were on the dark side, and they were building a lip lift to lift open his lips. The other side was like almost closed. No activity on the light side where God would be. Now it looks like the building work has advanced. And they're like, it maybe even originally the first tartar lip lift I was just talking about was actually just the initial structure of the new tooth. And now we're a little bit further in the video. The demons have been working hard. All the blasphemy, right? All the blasphemy has basically helped build a set of tartar vampire teeth. And so that is unbelievable, right? This is a whole new level of evolutionary insanity.
Oh, Greg, he hurts us. Master, why you hurt us, Master? Brush it. Woo. All right, we got it out of our system now. Do we get it out of our system, guys?
Who's the we, right? Him and the demons, right? Because he's the only one going insane. Because he can't handle it, right? He couldn't handle that other people weren't focused on him. It's just too much. It's too much for him to take that I was getting the attention of his viewers. So he had to do something. That's why he did this whole manifestation insanity. It was the only way to get them to focus on him, right? It's like a child. You know how a baby, when they see another child getting attention, they'll run over and like do something really dumb, like shove their hand in another kid's diaper and start eating out of it, or they'll go and like stick their head in the toilet like Sam, because they want someone to rush over and give them attention, right? That's what he just did. That whole display. That's what it was.
All right. Let's go here. Let's go to the article. Yeah, I know the Jugsville. So if you go here, go to the description box. Go here. Do we get it out of our system? Can we focus? Or right here. Here's the article, description box. Now, if you're on Rumble, make Rumble great again. All right. Okay, so you go to my Rumble account. All right, watch here. Let's see. Thank you. Praise God. So now we go here to Rumble. And you'll see that right here. So let's begin. Now we're going to begin. Master hurts us. Right here. See, guys? Let's begin, right? So let's regroup. Let's regroup. We ready now or no? Arthur, don't change the subject, buddy. You know I have a topic right now. Let's focus, right? Because he's going to start manifesting.
I'm allowed to do my live stream and say what I want. He doesn't have to focus on that, but he can't handle it. It's incredible.
Sam, please, Sam. Okay, what are we talking about? Psalm 82, the gods, the sons of God, whom God will condemn to die, and Jesus' use of it. So now let's begin, okay? Please, guys, let's focus and let's learn. We had enough fun at his expense. Leave him be. Jerby, you know curiosity killed the cat, right?
See how insecure he is? He's dying, right? This is like killing him. These are very clear signs of a narcissist, right? An immature baby who just is an adult. So he's not capable of holding himself together, right? If he actually just started doing what he's here to do, if it's so interesting, Sam, you shouldn't have this much trouble getting your followers to listen to you. I guess they like to listen to me more than you when we're both on at the same time. Nice.
Satisfaction sometimes brings it back. Jerby, stay away. Focus, Jerby. Focus. Auzubillahi min Kelly Powers in the gym. All right, let's continue where we left off. Where we left off was me citing from the Watchtower Bible and Tract Society's own publications, where they say Psalm 82 is referring to human judges, judges of Israel, meaning the gods of Psalm 82 are human judges.
Okay, so he's quoting from a recent Watchtower publication. How does this prove anything? Or unless the publication provides evidence that we're going to use to support our positions, right? They don't do that. The Watchtower doesn't here defend their view of the gods of Psalm 82, and they've changed their view several times. So why are we only using the view that agrees with you, fatso, unless they actually have information that makes that view right, which they don't? You and them are just following the view of the later post-New Testament rabbinic Jews. This is not the early understanding of this text, as I'm going to show you, and I've already shown everybody. You're just lying again because you're a despicable pig.
Contrary to Greg Stafford, who argues these are angelic creatures of the heavenly council.
That is what they are. It's very obvious. Even the Jews prior to and leading into Jesus' time, in the Dead Sea community, Melchizedek scroll, believed that exact same thing as I've showed before, and I'm going to show you again. So my understanding of who these gods are is the understanding before and during, leading right into, prior to the rabbinic period, the Jews of Jesus' time. The only documented understanding we have. So my understanding, once again, is from the biblical times. Yours is not.
Okay? So we're going to read some more of the quotes, and then I'm going to turn their arguments against them and further bury Greg Stafford and his fake God by the power of Jehovah Jesus.
That expression, Jehovah Jesus, never appears in the Bible. But since you don't follow it, it makes sense that you would use expressions not in the Bible.
All right? Buddy, Jamali, stop watching. I'm going to get you out of here.
See, he still can't keep his followers from me because I'm better to listen to than Sam, and they know it. This has been proven through this whole video of his. This guy cannot focus on what he's here to talk about. He's watching all of his followers prefer me over him, and it's driving him insane.
Focus. All right, let's focus. We ready now? In Jesus' name. So all the citations are there. All you do is you go to my article. You have my permission. Take the materials, upload them, clip them, translate them, learn the arguments, and share them. I promise you.
All that will do is confuse you and anybody who reads them. Don't do it.
And as you can see by Stafford, these arguments are irrefutable because we have the truth.
That's hysterical, right? So funny.
And the fact is, the triune God lives. The fact is, Jesus is Jehovah Almighty in the flesh, one with the Father and the Spirit. The fact is, the Bible is a Trinitarian book. That's
comedy show, huh? Right? There's nothing about the Trinity and everything against the Trinity in the Bible. They wouldn't even know what you're talking about, pal. If the Bible's a Trinitarian book, Sam, why did we have to wait almost over 250 years before a pagan emperor sat at a council at a bunch of people with a bunch of people disagreeing and not the Holy Spirit there to resolve this issue only temporarily? With still ongoing disagreements after that, and new councils, new definitions after that, none of which are actually in the Bible of the New Testament apostles before that. You're not carrying on the traditions or teachings of the Bible, you pagan liar. We are. That's why Trinity's not in the Bible, in our view, is. Word for word, explicitly, multiple times. Yours not even once. You understand? The Bible did not feel it necessary to include a Trinitarian doctrine. No Trinitarian God, no uncreated Son, everything we believe and teach, and that contradicts your later pagan doctrine.
That's why the facts destroy and demolish these demons, and that's why they manifest. That's all they can do. If you learn the arguments, right? So here you'll click and it'll take you to the site. These are battle-tested arguments, folks. You see, we use them in battle. And thank be to the triune God, because the Spirit convicted us to know who the true guy is. They can't refute the arguments. How can you? It's the truth.
So we do that all the time, and I've done it for decades with this pervert. But just listen to him, right? What he's just talking to himself right now. You understand? He's the only person he's talking to right now, like most narcissists, is himself. He's just trying to convince himself of something that isn't true. Otherwise, he wouldn't have to keep talking to himself like this. He would just show you the information that supports his view. Listen to him.
Truth. Right? Glory to the Father, Son, Holy Spirit. Amen? Amen? Glory to the Father, Son, and Spirit. So let's begin. I'm going to cite what they say, who the gods are of Psalm 82. All right? The Jehovah's Witnesses. Remember, Greg Stafford thinks Psalm 82, those gods, sons of God, whom God will condemn to die, and I'll unpack it. I'm going to show you how Psalm 82 proves that Jesus is God Almighty. According to the society, those are human judges, men, the judges of Israel. See?
Yes, Sam. We all know that this society has held this view and may hold this view right now. They have not always held this view, but this is in part why I told Kelly when he did that, when the thing you did with Kelly set off that whole thing. And Kelly did a video about me actually before that, where he answered somebody's question about, the person asked him about my arguments on John 10 and the gods of Psalm 82. But Kelly answered using as if it's the Watchtower's view. But it wasn't the Watchtower's view, right? So that was part of the problem, was he made it seem like he was answering me, but he was really saying he was answering the Watchtower's view as if it were the same. So either way, that's just kind of part of the reason why that happened, why there was that misunderstanding, I think, with Kelly in that video he did, where he thought the Watchtower and my view were the same, basically. But that's why I told him it wasn't, because I knew that they didn't hold the same view that I do at this time, or at that time. Yeah, I don't know what their current view is. Either way, who cares, right? Why is he using the Watchtower against my arguments in John 10? Can anybody explain that? What does this have to do with me? Right? I mean, if it's the same view and the same arguments, well, then yeah, sure. But he's proving right here, and we already knew, the Watchtower has a different view of these gods right now than I do. How does this in any way support his view and take away from my view? We all know the Watchtower is getting worse and worse, right? Their understanding, their translations, it's not getting any better there. I don't see it. So why would Sam try to use a less sophisticated argument from the Watchtower publications than they've given previously on this issue, and where they just say that they're judges, human judges, without giving any actual support or reason for that? How does this in any way support him and detract from me? Wouldn't the fact that he thinks Watchtower's crazy and from the devil show that their interpretation being the same as his is something he should think twice about? Yeah, especially since the only other people who believe, like you pagan Christians, are the Jews who deny Jesus himself. Okay, so you guys have the Jews who deny Jesus after the first century, supporting your view of Psalm 82, which makes sense because they don't believe Jesus is the Son of God like he told them he was. We'll get to it. And you have what, by your definition, is a cult organization that doesn't interpret or translate the Bible correctly. That's Sam's support. Did you know that? Later, rabbinic Jews and an organization he thinks is a cult and a heresy. That's what he's supporting his view of Psalm 82 with. I told you, there's no limits for this. There's no line this guy won't cross. He's stupid, he's fat, and he's a liar.
Further, the designation God carries an additional implication. Judges in Israel were called gods once by Jesus himself. See? This kind.
What do you mean, see? So we know the Watchtower views that. This isn't proving anything, you insane maniac. Just how dumb have you become, Sam, that you would think that this in any way matters to me, since I don't hold this view? You're literally just citing a source you don't think is credible, but that agrees with you, for no reasons given by that actual source. This is what we're dealing with, everybody.
Contradicts Greg Stafford. Stafford says the gods of Psalm 82 are the angelic creatures, the divine.
It's not just what I say, okay? I'm not contradicting me. I mean, this is just the Watchtower making an interpretation that they have changed over time, that now is what you think it says, which is not what it says. It's not what it says contextually in John 10 or in Psalm 82. And it's not what the Jews who lived prior to and during Jesus' time believed. Okay, so all of that supports me. I'm going to show you right now. But, Sam, as I've said many times, and because you're a fat liar who's worse than an unbeliever, you simply lie to your audience. You never explain or answer what I actually say here. That disproves everything you're saying. The only thing you or anybody has to offer here, you try to misuse Psalm 82:8 and Psalm 95. We'll get to that in a minute. It's unbelievable. It works against you. But you're just relying on a post-Christian, Jesus-denying rabbinic interpretation and a later, according to you, cultic interpretation. You're like the Watchtower quoting Johannes Grieber, Sam. You're citing rabbinic Jews who reject Jesus and the Watchtower who teaches damnable heresy according to you as your authorities. What a whack job. All right, let me show you guys. I've shown this before in my Michael and Jesus as the Archangel video. Bring you guys up here, right? This is from F. Garcia Martinez and EJC Tigchilar and A.S. Vanderwood's publication. And that's actually the Dead Sea Scrolls. Translated, right? There's a version of it right here. I have this PDF here. I can put a link below since you can access this. Let me make it a little bigger though. So here is the Melchizedek scroll, a Dead Sea Scroll text that is dated to the 1st century BCE, basically, and that was available during the entire 1st century, right? Part of the understanding and literature of the Jews in the region of Judea, right? Not in Alexandria or somewhere like that. Right, so this is the Melchizedek scroll. This is column 2. This is page 207. And you can see right here, look, right by my, we'll read from column 2, right there below my, let me make it a little bigger. There. So look. We'll start right here in 9. So you see right across, see where my hand is? See where it says, next to my hand, you can see there, works, 4, and then 9. It is the time for the year of grace of Melchizedek. Okay, I'm going to read from right there, okay? Here we go. This is what the Jews who lived prior to and during Jesus' time believed and taught and wrote for other Jews in the community to believe about Psalm 82 and those gods. Again, reading right here, their works 4:9, it is time of the year of the grace of Melchizedek and of his armies, the nation of the holy ones of God, of the rule of judgment, as it is written 10 about him in the songs of David, who said, Psalm 82:1, Elohim will stand in the assembly of God. In the midst of the gods he judges. And about him he said, Psalm 7:8-9, and above it, 11, to the heights return. God will judge his peoples. So the whole aspect of judgment from Psalm 82 and judgment from Psalm 7:8-9 are both in focus right here. The whole issue of being a judge, okay? Look, God will judge the peoples. As for what he said, Psalm 82:2, how long will you judge unjustly and show partiality to the wicked? Selah. 12, its interpretation concerns Belial. That's another word for Satan, all throughout these scrolls and other texts. Concerns Belial and the spirits of his lot who, turning aside from the commandment of God to commit evil. But Melchizedek will carry out the vengeance of God's judgment. On that day, he will free them from the hand of Belial and from the hand of all the spirits of his lot. To his aid shall come all the gods of justice, and he is the one who all the sons of God, some of the text is missing, but you can see here, right? And it's all talking about the sons of God, gods, the gods of Psalm 82, who are the spirits of Belial. Okay, you fat pig. Now just ask yourself here this question. Why does Sam Shamoon never cite this text? Why does Pig Fat Shamoon never cite the Melchizedek scroll to help people understand the gods of Psalm 82? Why does Sam Shamoon, the biggest blasphemer on the planet, run to post-New Testament rabbis who reject Jesus and whom he considers a discredited cult organization of the 19th and 20th century and 21st, for his support? Because he's a fat pig, that's why. And he doesn't look at the best evidence. He's looking for the evidence that agrees with his view, all of which is after the Bible was written. But guess what? Our evidence, like all of our evidence, is either written in the Bible or written and explained by the very people who wrote and kept the Bible as their actual view. Prior to and during Jesus' time, I know, no Trinity. So Sam is a despicable liar. You understand? He's a false teacher. He's a shit bomb, you understand? He's a grotesque spectacle. Read Jude. He's disgusting in every way. He's a fatso. He's unclean. He attacks people. He disparages their character, lies about their habits, attacks their family, destroys his own family, is worse than an unbeliever. This pig and fatso, you're going to listen to him? Will teach you how to lie about the Bible and embrace the later rabbis and cults over the Melchizedek scroll? Exactly, because you don't care about evidence. You only care about your fake, false God of fatsos. So this is very clear, is it not, everybody? We follow the Bible. We follow the evidence. We don't run around to weak, pathetic evidence after the Bible because we don't have anything else except our fake, false view that depends on it. Now let's get back to Fat Sam and his pigness and blubber and lies. This guy's so despicable and disgusting. Ask yourself, why isn't he citing this evidence? If he's such a scholar and knowledgeable fatty, why is he deliberately ignoring evidence I've shown him numerous times? You don't think he would be citing this if it agreed with him and said judges, human judges? Exactly. He's a pig and a liar. You stupid idiots.
Fine counsel. Now, is the screen large enough, guys? Can you see the article? Let me make it a little more larger. Is it large enough, guys? Can you see it? Honestly, guys, what other channel will you get comedy where you're going to laugh so hard you'll be in tears and you're going to get a six-pack, or you get convicted and you'll be crying as a baby in love for Jesus and get rebuked and insulted, all for free?
Yeah, by someone who's worse than an unbeliever because he's such a despicable pig fat man. He won't go get a job. He'd rather rely on other people who work jobs, be worse than an unbeliever, destroy his own daughters, lie about God, claim people have drug addictions, which is why they're thin and he's fat, and absolutely ignore the best available evidence that contradicts your stupid interpretation that only a modern day cult, according to you, and Jesus-hating rabbis advance.
Where are you going to get that, man? Come on.
The only place we're going to get this level of pig fat lies and blasphemy, I don't know. There is nobody, Sam. You're number one in all those categories.
You see, I wanted to be an actor. I wanted to be in Bollywood, man.
You should have been. You should have been working like a normal person. Instead, your dick doesn't work. You're a fat pig who can't get a job, won't get a job, and all you do is attack people all day long. That's like the worst possible thing anybody could become.
So let's go to the citations. Let's read this lengthy citation. And I'm going to turn the arguments against them. Right here. Are we ready? Class has begun. Class has begun. Right?
Sorry.
Class has begun. Let me do this. Hold on. All right, 1 second. Let me say this. Lord Jesus, bless you, brother. We're live here, and thank you, brother. All right, come on. All right, let's read what they said. I'm going to go full screen. All right. This is from the Jehovah's Witness literature. It's long, but I want you to follow me, and I'll unpack it. And once you learn the argument, it's funeral services for the society. So they're answering questions. Question number 63. Why did the Jews want to stone Jesus? And what did Jesus quote from the Psalms to show whether they were justified in doing so? All right, it's talking about John 10, where it says, I and the Father are one. A lot of meat, things I've discussed millions of times, but creature repetition, we need to hear something repetitively to become second nature. Right? Lord, pray I don't be a distraction to my neighbors and that I don't have rowdy neighbors because I can't handle noise. Pray they understand that I'm in ministry and I don't bother them.
I don't know. Is he like getting complaints because he's yelling like a boar who hasn't eaten in 5 days, right? And he's just a disruption constantly to everybody around him, right? It's incredible.
Yeah, that's another problem living in an apartment. But hey, what can I do?
It's real simple. You get your ass out there and you get a job. 2, if you can. And with all the time you're spending online, you can if you wanted to. The problem is, Sam, you don't want to. You want to lie. You want to take people's money that they worked for and then have everybody accommodate you while you're attacking people and defaming them nonstop looking like a pig. So a normal person would read the Bible and realize, uh-oh, I'm worse than an unbeliever. All this bullshit I get up here and talk about all day, it means nothing, right? Because I'm a fatso who doesn't work. I'm an unemployed glutton, literal words from the Bible. I'm worse than an unbeliever no matter how much I defend false doctrine. Just remember that, Sam.
In saying this, are we not forgetting John 10, 31 to 39? According to which the Jews wanted to stone Jesus for saying, I and the Father are one. Now watch the caricature misrepresentation of our position. Love you too, Arthur. Okay. No, we are not forgetting.
Okay, wait a minute. I think he just confessed his love for another man. Let me check that.
Love you too, Arthur.
Yeah, so now there's an Arthur out there. I mean, it's over.
Okay. No, we are not forgetting. The Jews who believed in the one God, whose name is Jehovah, they wanted to stone Jesus. Why? Watch. Not because he taught such a thing as a Trinity, and that he is 1/3 of it. Is that what we believe? That Jesus is 1/3 of the Trinity?
Yes, you believe he's one of the 3 persons. And anyone who's not a reject where math is concerned knows that one of 3 persons is 1/3.
You see the caricature? You see the straw man, the misrepresentation?
No, you're just dumb. That's all we see.
You see it, guys? 1/3 of it?
Right. One of 3 persons. You get Sam. Get a calculator.
All right, now let's continue. But because he spoke of himself as the Son of God. So the Jews wanted to stone Jesus because he claimed to be the Son of God. The Son of their God, Jehovah. Jesus said to them with their stones in their hands, many good works from my Father I have shown you. For which of them do you stone me? The Jews replied, it is for no good work that we stone you, but for blasphemy, because you, a man, make yourself God, lowercase g. God, right? Focus, everyone. Tori. Jesus then referred the Jews to their own holy scripture, Psalm 82:6, and said, is it not written in your law, I have said ye are gods? If God said that those to whom he was speaking were gods, and the scripture cannot be annulled, do you accuse of blaspheming him whom the Father consecrated, sent into the world? Because I said I am the Son of God? If I do not do the works of my Father, do not believe me. But if I do them, even if you believe me, believe not me. Holy Spirit, control my tongue. Believe the works, that you may perceive, and understand that the Father is in me and I in the Father. Tori. Now, they're going to answer the question who these gods are. 64. A, what did Jesus there argue that he himself was? B, who are the ones whom Psalm 82 addressed as gods? Now watch the answer. The very argument of Jesus here proves he did not claim to be God. See it? See how they're trying to get around this passage? The very argument of Jesus here proves he did not claim to be God. Had he claimed to be God, then the Jews would have been right in stoning him for blasphemy. See circular reasoning. If Jesus claimed to be...
No, they have their reasons for believing that Jesus was not claiming to be God, and that if he had claimed to be God, that would have been blasphemy in the way that you claim. So you're just ignoring the reasons that they give for that position and claim it's a circular argument. No, they actually have reasons for that position. You're just not discussing them here.
God, then the Jews were right to then condemn him for blasphemy. This begs the question. This assumes what they've yet to prove, that Jesus cannot be the Almighty God because he's not the Almighty God. He's a creature. And if he said he's the Almighty God, then the Jews are right. He's a blasphemer.
No, you guys do something actually, you guys are the ones who beg the question all the time. You say they wouldn't have accused him of being blasphemy if he wasn't claiming to be God. That he had to be claiming to be God to be accused of blasphemy. That's not what it says anywhere in this account. So you're the one begging the question. You're assuming that the only reason they could be stoning him is for blaspheming by claiming to be God. That's the very thing he says he's not doing by quoting Psalm 82. I'm going to prove it to you in a minute. I've already done it. So, no, you're begging the question. You actually ignore Jesus' explicit reason for quoting Psalm 82 because you're a pig and a fatso, and you lie about the Bible. So no one should take you seriously anymore, Sam. You're a joke and a pervert. I'm going to smash you into the ground and you're not going to make it out of this, okay? Just keep doing what you want. You're a disgrace and you're worse than a non-believer. There's no way out, pal. Everyone sees what a despicable pervert you are.
See the circular reasoning, guys? See the circular reasoning? Ay vey. But Jesus argues that he claimed to be less than God. Really, did he? Let's see. To prove.
Yes, he did. So, first of all, though, because we know how these perverts are, and Sam's a fat pig who doesn't have a job, we know he's going to send people over if he can. Well, let's see. Yeah, Hodor says, yeah, he lied. I don't think it's part of Assyrian culture to walk out naked in front of people. Yeah, Blanco, you don't know. You don't even give any examples, and no one cares what you're thinking about. Sam got annihilated and sodomized live. That's why he couldn't answer any questions. So we're just going to let you go because you don't offer any evidence and you act like a reject. So no one cares what you think. You either have evidence and you can say, hey, he got the better of you on this or that, or we know you're just lying. Anyone could just say things, you reject, Blanco. You don't have a piece. Do you know what evidence is? Obviously not, right? Otherwise, you guys wouldn't be able to do anything. Why don't you debate Dr. James White again? It's better to debate academics instead of ideologues. I'm not the one who makes those decisions. Why don't you go debate Dr. White, Beerus? Why do I already did it, and who says I wouldn't, and who says anyone's even offered me that? Hint, they haven't. Maybe you should actually just focus on you. Why don't you go debate people? I debate whoever I want whenever they actually ask me. Guess what? Nobody asks me except fat fags like Albie and pig brains like Sam, who after I accept run away and shove a dick in their ass, right? So, Beerus, why don't you actually go debate him yourself? Yeah, Beerus, we're not here to talk about salvation of the Watchtower. You're just too stupid to understand the actual subject of the show, even though there's a title and a thumbnail. So, go jump on a cucumber, okay? These people are so stupid, everybody. They're like brain dead. Well, they follow Sam, right? And demonize pig-faced pastors. Can't even handle, they will insult people live, right? I mean, these guys are catastrophes. This sewage, right? This toxic fecal matter on YouTube is what these people are. Look at them. Look at the way they talk. Look at the way they attack people, okay? So, does anyone know what Pia Liasol, is that what it is? Pia la soul. Sam is disingenuous. Yeah, no, you're right. Okay, good. Just making sure. So Beer has sodomized himself out of here. Looks like all the other sodomites ran away. They started to see their little hero getting annihilated, right? You haven't seen nothing yet. Here, back to Fatso and his pig brain.
Prove this. Jesus quoted to them from Psalm 82, verses 1, 2, 6, and 7, authorized version, which reads, God, Elohim, standeth in the congregation of the mighty. He judgeth among the gods, Elohim. So this God will condemn these Elohim. Elohim is going to stand to condemn these Elohim. It's going to be important later to see who this God is. It's going to be Greg's cremation.
It actually shows once again everything he said is wrong. He actually destroys himself on this very point involving Psalm 95. But remember, he's stupid. So he's a liar, right? This is a guy who prefers the later Jesus-hating rabbinic interpretation of Psalm 82 and the Watchtower cult interpretation over the documented historical interpretation of the Jews during Jesus' time. This guy's a clown. He's an asshat, okay?
All right, Faith, take it easy. Don't focus on it. How long will you judge unjustly and accept the person wicked? I have said, ye are gods, Elohim, and all of you are children of the Most High. This is what Jesus quoted. Is it not written, I've said you are gods? But ye shall die like men or like Adam, and fall like one of the princes. Now, who are these gods? Who are these gods? Okay, watch. According to the society. In this
See, look at his comments, right? See, he's saying all this lying he does, right? This distortion, right? This catastrophe that we regularly have to deal with from him. Look at people he misleads, right? I mean, these people obviously are stupid, right? You would have to be an idiot to actually seriously pay attention to an admitted abusive masturbator. Like, he whacks off so hard, he killed his penis. Okay? This is a fact. He can't use it anymore. Okay? He's an abusive person. He doesn't work. He wants his daughters to give up their life and career to wheel him around town. This is who these people are listening to. Do you understand? So it's game over, right? There's no real hope for these people. How? Anyone who falls for this kind of spectacle, I mean, just move along, right? It's over.
Psalm, the Most High God speaks to the unjust judges on earth, mere men.
Right. So he's quoting the Watchtower. It looks like he's quoting from the Watchtower information again. So what does this prove, Sam? Exactly nothing, except you're stupid.
So they don't agree with Stafford. These judges are men.
Okay, that's what I tried to tell Kelly, and you're telling us what we already know. So why are you making it seem like there's some special point here? You see, it just proves he's stupid.
Not angelic creatures in heaven.
I'm sorry, we're not going to rely on a 21st century Watchtower comment over the documented Jewish understanding of the 1st century BCE and 1st century CE. No, we're not going to do that, Sam, because we're not perverts and idiots like you. That's what he's doing. So that tells you right there, you're not dealing with someone who cares about evidence. Not at all.
Are you with me? They're men. Calls them gods, or Elohim in the Hebrew, and he tells them to.
Okay, so we might as well just all join the Watchtower now, right? Basically, there's no critical analysis going on here, right? He's not citing anything from this Watchtower article that in any way provides support for his interpretation. Do you see that? He's just citing the Watchtower's interpretation, as if somehow I'm in trouble now, right? How? I don't follow the Watchtower, you idiot. They don't follow the best evidence, just like you, because there is no evidence that they cite here, just like you, right? You're just citing the Watchtower. This is all you're doing. Okay, when are you going to deal with the actual historical evidence I've cited for you over and over again in the Melchizedek scroll I just read earlier? Yeah, exactly. Never.
To correct their legal practice. Because those judges fail of their duty, it becomes necessary for the Most High God to arise and judge the peoples of the earth. Okay, now watch. Question 65.
No, it's talking about the gods of the nations. There's no such thing as Israelite gods during the time of the kings, you fag. You want to document that? You want to show me where during the time of the psalmist, the Psalms, Psalm 82, that there were human judges who were acting as gods? Yeah, try never. Try even during the time of the judges, they weren't called gods. I thought the Bible and the law said, like you guys quote all the time, you're not supposed to have any other gods before his face. Oh, so it's talking about certain kind of gods there. What kind? Not human judges gods, right? Oh, so now you're interpreting what other gods can be before his face. Some can, some can't. Is that what you're saying now? Exactly. So there's nothing in the context of Psalm 82. You even read, we'll look at closer in a moment. It says they'll die like men. Men don't die like men, fag. Men are men, and they just die. That proves they're not men right there. They're being compared and contrasted with men. That even though they're gods, because they failed, they're going to die like men. That wouldn't make any sense if they were men. You just say you're going to die. You're not gods. That's not what he says. So we already know the context of Psalm 82, and throughout the entire book of Psalms has God and his anointed one against the nations. It's like explicit from Psalm 2, right? Jehovah and his anointed, the nations have taken their stand against Yahweh and his anointed one, his Christ, right? And then all throughout, it goes to show how Israel had to deal with all these hostile nations, all these gods of the nations. And right here in Psalm 82, God is entering into the council of God. Where's the council of God on earth? What are you talking about? Where did God enter into a council of gods on earth and address gods? No, that's in heaven. Just like in Job 1:6, 2:1. They appear before him at scheduled times, and he addresses them. Here he's addressing them because they failed to keep the nations from messing up his people. And their own nations have become terrible, which is why they're also messing up the Israelites. So that's why he's taking control here. He's going to take control of the nations. That's how they become his inheritance, as you're going to find out, you fat pig. So that he can get them in order, and he can continue doing his work with the Israelites and bringing forth the body. Okay? It's so easy and simple. I have a whole video called The Gods of Psalm 82. You can't even watch it. You're so stupid. And you never respond to anything I said in it. So you're just lying again like a despicable fat pig.
I'm sorry, guys, my throat. That's how it's going to be. One attack.
Well, stop shoving Albie's cock in your mouth, and maybe you'll get better.
After the other, but we plead the blood of Jesus Christ. Despite there being gods, what will happen to those judges and for those for whose death were such kind of Jewish gods responsible. Now, notice what it's saying. Despite there being gods, what will happen to those judges, and for whose death were such kind of Jewish gods responsible? Notice, they're Jewish gods. They're human gods. They're men. They're not angels.
All he's doing is reading from the Watchtower and telling us we're wrong because the Watchtower says these things, right? Everybody, I mean, I've got another video, part of a video that he did on, is related to this same issue with the white debate. And then there's a video I'm going to destroy on his of the Shepherd Hermes, and he's always got just stupid. It's so bad with him now, right? There's really no reason to continue with this guy, right? This level is just a joke now. So he's literally reduced to quoting Watchtower with no arguments in the quotes he's making and saying he's right, right? Yes, he is. It's exactly what he's done so far. We'll see what happens next.
Answer. Their being called gods will not save these judges. Neither will their considering themselves to be sons of the Most High or sons of God. That gives them no immortality. They are still mortal and will die just like other men. They will fall in death just like other judicial princes on earth. And this by the execution of God's judgment. God's word was against them in adverse judgment. It was human gods like these among the Jews that caused Jesus to be put to death at the hand of the Romans. Are you seeing the pattern? Are you seeing the pattern?
You mean that the Watchtower is repeating its interpretation of these gods without any actual evidence? Yeah, that's what you do all the time.
They're repeatedly telling you the gods of Psalm 82 are humans, men, mortals, specifically Jewish men, Israelite judges, not angelic creatures.
We all already know this except you, it seems, and Kelly at one point, because you guys don't take the time to actually study what you're talking about before you talk about it. And so it puts you in a terrible position. You don't really care. You're such an idiot anyway. You've been blown out so bad, right? It's like just a joke. But you still get butthurt, especially when William's around. And but a lot of other people, they seem to care, but they still make similar errors. Again, all we're doing is he's just reading the Watchtower, repeating its interpretation without any evidence.
Okay, keep that in mind. Focus, everyone. 66, 67. What did Jesus not claim to be? And what did he not say to the Jews about his Father himself? Answer. Jesus told those who wanted to stone him that he had not claimed to be God or a God. Really? Where? I'm going to show you this is a lie. He did claim to be God. Even though Psalm 82:6 had called some men, some Israelite judges, God. So again, they agree these were Israelite judges. Now notice the confusion here. Notice the confusion. They're saying not only did Jesus not claim to be God, he didn't claim to be a God. You see the confusion?
No, there is no confusion. You're just stupid, and you don't spend the time to actually review the material before you talk about it so that you could understand it. Instead, you just get up here and show you're stupid. The Watchtower believes Jesus is claiming to be the Son of God here, which he is, but they don't make the connection. They don't interpret Son of God to mean a God. But that is what it means in the Bible. It's the same thing unless it's figurative, right? Or about a human son. So sometimes it can be a little ambiguous with Jesus, but that's what they're saying. They're saying they don't see Son of God here. They see Son of God as what he's claiming here, not God or a God. It's really simple when you're not a moron.
What do I mean? Let's see if you're catching it. You see the confusion? I thought he is a God and a son of God. They're saying Jesus wasn't even claiming to be a God. But that's what the Jehovah's Witnesses believe.
Yes, we believe he was a son of God, God who was with God in the beginning, but who gave up being that God to become a man. He's still that same person, though, as I've explained to you numerous times, and you're not capable of grasping this, because to grasp it would be to prove you're wrong, so you just act like an idiot. I'm going to show it to you again, though. I'm going to show you lied also again about my appearance on your show, and you don't learn anything because you're just a blasphemous pig. So I'm going to show you don't understand. He's the same person before he became a man, as he's a man, and after he lives and dies as a man and he's resurrected. All three of those existences, he's the same person. So like when someone dies who's going to be resurrected, like not you, when they're resurrected by God, they're the same person. They just exist in a different body, a spiritual body. They're still the same person, though, that they were as a human being. Like I've shown you with the Bible, and I'm going to show you again. It's the same with Jesus. He's the same person before he became a man that he is as a man. Therefore, even though his nature is different, right? He's a man now. He's still the Son of God. He's still Michael the Archangel. He's still a God. He's still everything that same person is, because the only thing different is his existence. So all of that prior existence is still him. You understand? Of course you don't. But it's what it is. I'm going to prove that to you, as I already have, in just a second.
Jesus is a God. So what are they trying to say?
I just told you, you can literally see it right there. Right? And so the top line that he's confused about, where it says he didn't claim to be God or a God. Then it goes on to say, if you look at the end of the part that's in bold on the second line, it says Jesus had, and then it goes to the third line. Jesus had been speaking to the Jews about God as being his Father, which would mean that he, Jesus, was the Son of God. Okay, that's what they believe this is teaching. That's what they believe he is, and that's what they believe he was claiming to be, not a God. So they just don't, whoever wrote this article, I've known people in the Watchtower who absolutely understood the connection between being a son of God and being a God. And that's what the sons of God are. That's what that means. That does not mean every writer in the Watchtower, especially today, right, or recently, is going to see it the same way or write the same things. So they're aware, just like you are, of the rabbinic view. And probably that's how they're seeing this, because it's just the way they understand the context, like they're talking about here, in terms of him being one with the Father and the sheep not being snatched out of his hand, which we'll get to more in a moment. But my point is, you're making too much of a big deal out of this, and in the process showing, again, you're stupid.
Are they saying he's not a God? But they say he's a God.
Right. Well, even you are saying that human judges are gods. So what is it you can't comprehend here? Why can't he be a god as a human, just like the other judges you say are gods and humans? In fact, if that's who those humans are, if that's who those gods are, human judges, that's what he has to be claiming here, because he's using that psalm as his evidence. That's what I've been telling you guys. And again, they're not going to make it, everybody. These are dishonest people. I'll show you more in a moment.
Because here they're saying that Jesus wasn't claiming to be a God.
Right, because he never actually says those words. He says he claimed to be the Son of God. But he's responding to their charge that he claimed to be Theos. So I believe, like most people, he's actually answering that charge. And when he says he's claiming to be the Son of God, he's just interpreting what they're accusing him of as meaning the same thing, which is what it means. The Watchtower just doesn't see it that way here. But you're baffling yourself because you're stupid.
Right here. Jesus told those who wanted to stone him that he had not claimed to be God or a God. You see here? What's going on? So you're telling me he's not a God? This is why I said the burial. Now let me hammer the point again.
So he's burying me because Watchtower is providing an interpretation with no evidence like him, right? That's the burial to Sam.
You know why they're saying that Jesus was not claiming to be a God? This is what I need you to get, because
what he says here is not why they say that, but it ultimately doesn't matter because he blows it anyway, like we've seen already. So just know that what he's saying, when he reads into their motive for why they're doing what they're doing or writing what they're writing, he's almost always wrong.
Greg got it and manifested. No, they don't think Jesus was a God on earth. Do you now understand? Why am I born?
That's not entirely true. Just because they say he wasn't claiming to be a God doesn't mean he's not a God as the same person who was with the Father. Just like he's still the only begotten God. He's still the firstborn of all creation, Sam. When he's a man on earth. Right. The Watchtower still believes that even as a man, he's the firstborn. Right, because they understand he's the same person. They just don't agree that the gods of Psalm 82 are, at least in that article, like the Melchizedek scroll, spirits. That's the only thing that's different here. So you're confusing yourself again as usual.
Boring you to death, sounding like a broken record, telling you they don't believe Jesus was an angelic person with a human nature. He was just a man.
Okay, there's no such thing as an angelic person. There's spirit people and there's human people. And each of them can be angels or messengers. That's it. Most of the time in the Bible, I guess, it's quite often for humans, but the angels are spirits, flames of fire, like we read in Psalm 104 and Hebrews 1. That's not an angelic creature, you fag. They're spirit creatures. What's born from spirit is spirit. Not what's born from spirit is an angel. You're never going to figure this out. I think you're just too stupid. You're smart with arguments, Sam. You're a pig-headed fatso who doesn't give in easily. I'll give you that. But you're stupid, dude. Some of the things you say show you're just not a smart person. It's a fact.
I don't know if it's sunk in. I'm going to repeat it because I want to use the Holy Spirit to make you the best.
He's talking about himself now. No one has expressed any confusion or concern. He's the only one who needs this repeated.
Christian evangelist, apologist, and on fire and in love with Jesus. And pray for me. Okay. When Jesus is on earth, he's not a God anymore.
Not a spirit God. Just like I was telling you about angel. He's not a spirit angel. He's still the same person who was a spirit only begotten God with the Father. So he's still that same God. He's just not in the same nature. He's still the firstborn of all creation. He's just not in the nature that he was in when he was the firstborn of all creation. Do you understand now, dum-dum? I doubt it.
Do you understand?
We understand. You do not.
No, Joshua, you have no idea. No, you are so wrong. I'm going to give you another chance to get it.
Probably that person was right. I don't know because I don't see it. But since he's totally wrong, right? This guy's totally confused. Probably that Joshua was right, because there's no way in hell this guy's even close, right? This is a catastrophe.
When Jesus is on earth, he's not a God anymore. Why?
That's not true. He's even said to be prophesied as the mighty God, angel of great counsel, as a child, you fag. A child will be born to us whose name will be called. Paul says in 1 Corinthians 8:5, there are those who are called gods, whether in heaven or on earth. Jesus is quoting Psalm 82 about those who are called gods. So why couldn't he be called a god on earth? He could be and is, but that doesn't make him a spirit on earth. Just like with your stupid question about angels, you still don't understand, and that's why it's going to be playing forever on the front page of my channel. That's proof eternally, Sam. You're dumb.
He's just a man. He's just...
No, that's also a lie. He's the last Adam, which would be higher than any other man but Adam. So you and God logic can stop your mere and just as lies anytime, okay? He's a man who's a perfect man like Adam, so not just a man. And he's the same person as the God who was in beginning with God. The God being a God, the only begotten God, with the God. But he's that God. The God who was in the beginning with God. That doesn't change just because he becomes a man, fatso. I keep explaining this using the Bible, as I'm going to do again in a moment, but you're a liar and you're full of pig fat, so you refuse correction. And that's why, Sam, really quickly, you will be broken. And there will be no healing for you.
Just a human with a human nature, a human person.
Right, who's also a God, because he's that same person who was a God with God. See, you don't understand because you're dumb, right? That's why I'm using examples like he's still the firstborn of all creation. You understand? Right. He's still the angel of Yahweh from the Old Testament all throughout. He's just not in that form and nature as a man. So that's who Hebrews 1 is contrasting him with. The flame of fire angels of the Old Testament. Again, you guys can't contextualize anything, as you're going to see again in a moment. But, yeah, no, you're just really dumb. So that's all.
It's only the Archangel Michael that is a God. But he's not the Archangel anymore.
No, again, none of this is true. Just ignore everything he's saying right now because it's dumb and stupid and wrong.
You see why Stafford foamed and ran?
First of all, you fag, I didn't ran. You cut me off after I kicked your ass and smashed you and your moped twin.
A coward?
Coward? You're the biggest piece of shit on this planet. There is no one more cowardly and fat than you, pig man. I would annihilate your fat ass in anything, period. Especially when it comes to the Bible and the truth in it. You're a pig fat idiot who should get a job. You're a disgrace. You're worse than an unbeliever. And you have absolutely jack shit on me, pal.
Like a Mohammedan? You get it now? Do you understand? Do you understand their theology, how warped, satanic, evil it is?
No one knows what you're talking about, fatso. You're just walking around your house looking for food or a cat to sodomize. It's unbelievable.
It's a perversion of Scripture. And Stafford believes the same thing?
Right, that Jesus is the same person he was before he became a man. Meaning he's still a God, just not a spirit. No, he's still that same person who was a God, so he's still that a God. He's still Michael. He's just not in a spirit form. Right? No one's going to be able to get this through to you because of the fat.
Do you now understand why he was filibustering and would not address because he knew he's a coward and he couldn't defend this lie?
Okay, so everything this fag just said is a lie. I not only answered him, he kicked me off. I would never run from this fag. Okay, this is a cowardly pig. He can't even take care of himself. He can't even get a job. He's got a 2-inch dick. Okay? I answered this fag in my appearance on his show, and I quoted, as he was interrupting me with his fat lover that he had to call in because he was getting his ass handed to him. Even with all that and all of his fatso insults and pigness, I was able to get out my answer for his fatness. John 1:29 through 30. So he just lied to you right there. Listen to this fatso.
Address because he knew he's a coward and he couldn't defend this lie?
That's a lie. You son of a bitch. You piece of shit fatso. You're a malicious piece of shit liar. You're a coward and a pig. I would smoke your ass in anything. You name it. You got jack shit. You can't even hold a job down, you fag. And here you are lying about me again. Deceiving everybody so you can be a fatso and a pig. I beat your ass so badly, it's unbelievable, right? Again, it will eternally play on my channel, you fatso. Now, I gave you an answer, and you're still too fat and pig-headed to understand it. So let me show you once again, dick face, what you're too stupid to understand. I gave this guy an answer. I literally yelled out John 1:29 through 30 for this fag before he kicked me off, and he still didn't address it. I did everything right, and this fag did everything wrong. And all these pig fatsos, God Logic, everybody, supported his lie. Look, idiot, I've shown this to you already. I have whole videos going over this for you because you're too dense and dumb. You're like some fat cow who got its legs chopped off, and you're just this blob of fat mooing in the field. We got to come over and throw some grass into your fat face like a big bloated pig. John 1:29, fatso. So stupid, dude. This guy's a pig and a blimp. He's a blimpopotamus, right? A new category of existence. Blimpopotamus. Says on the next day, he sees Jesus, talking about John the Baptist. He sees Jesus coming to him, and he says, behold, the Lamb of God, taking away the sin of the world. The same Lamb who's depicted in Revelation 5 as being slaughtered and being worthy to open the scroll, you pig fatsos. So he sees Jesus coming to him. What does he say, Sam, since you can't deal with this? He it is, this is John talking. He it is concerning whom I said, after me comes a man, pig fat, who precedence over me has. Why? Because before me, he was. Ain fatso. Just like John 1:1. Oh, but it's as a man. It says a man was before him. Fatso! Just how much pig fat do you have between those ears, cow? Right here. We all know he's not a man before John, was he? So why does he say that? He's not a god on earth, according to you in Watchtower, right? So why does it say he's a man before he became a man? Because it's the same person, Fat Sam. This proves you don't have to be in the category of existence described to be the same person described by that other existence when you weren't even in that existence. Why? Because you're still the same person, dickface. You guys are homos and gay, and you just got your ass blown off again.
Do you understand now?
Now we do. You don't. It's real easy because we're not rejects like you fags are. So you have never addressed my answer. You lie and say I didn't answer because you're a dick face. And I'm going to make sure you know that for the rest of your life, fag. Calling me a drug user, lying about my character when you're one of the most pig-faced pieces of shit on the planet. Fucking idiot.
Did it sink in? I can't move on.
You can't move at all because you're a blimp. It looks like he's about to receive Albie's cock in his face, right? Look at that. Look at him. He's just like walking around, just waiting for a dick to get in his mouth.
Why did the society say here that Jesus had not claimed to be a god?
Because they explain it to you several lines below, but the fatness and Albie's dick won't let you see it.
Well, because he wasn't a god on earth. Only Michael is a god.
Okay, they don't say that here. You're literally misquoting Watchtower. All they say here is he doesn't claim to be God or a god. In other words, they don't see that he's making that claim here. They think he's claiming, like he said, claiming to be a son of God, the son of God. That's it. Okay? They're not saying he's not a god in the sense that I just explained to you, and they actually believe he is, according to Isaiah 9:6, and the very understanding you've been defending and that they accept for these judges or gods of Psalm 82, human judges called gods. So what do you mean they wouldn't consider him a god on earth in that way? You know, Sam, it just shows that your side's finished because you're the best they've got and you're stupid.
When Michael exists as an archangel, a spirit creature. Well, Jesus isn't a spirit creature on earth. He's a human creature, a human person, and he's not an angelic person.
Okay, all of that is just bullshit you just said, right? There's no angelic person. You're either a human person or a spirit person, and an angel or not. So you're just, once again, you keep confusing yourself because you're not qualified for any of this. You're just a good arguer. You're a good pig-faced, stubborn piece of shit who's heard a lot of stuff and so insecure you have to keep arguing it. But you're a dumbass, okay? Because you don't understand anything. He's the same person, whether a god or a man, and he can be an angel as either a god or a man. They're not saying he's not a god as a man here. That's exactly what they think he would be claiming if that's what he was claiming, something here like that. They think he's claiming to be the son of God, though, so it's not really an issue for them here. You keep focusing on that fact as if that means they don't think he's a god, period, on earth, which is not true. They know he's the same person, so in the very sentence that I explained to you, they also agree he's a god, he's the same person, Watchtower teaches. That's the same teaching. So they know he's that same person who was a god. He's just not a spirit being on earth. He's still that same person who was a god, though, and so still a god. He's still a son of God. He's still the firstborn of all creation, fag. He's still Michael the Archangel on earth, too. He's just not a spirit flame of fire. Dumbass.
Therefore, at no time was Jesus a god on earth. Stafford believes this because he butchered.
That's not what they say. It doesn't say here, at no time was he a god on earth. You're just lying and misquoting Watchtower again. It's just like, you're just a catastrophe, Sam. It's just so, you're going to get, I hope you get punished for every single thing you've done.
Philippians 2 to say that though he was existing in the form of a God, divine form, he gave up that form, that nature, to take on human form.
Right. He gave up the form, the nature, the being a flame of fire, like I've been telling you, spirit. He's still the same person, though. So it's not that he's no longer God in any sense. He's just no longer a spirit, like he was a God before his human existence. He's still that same God, just not as a spirit. Just like when he's resurrected to being a life-giving spirit, he's still the same man. Right, he's still the same Jesus, just not a human. Can't make it any easier than that, but it still won't be good enough for you.
So Stafford agrees. Christ wasn't a God on earth.
No, again, you're dumb, and there's nothing really anyone can do for you at this point, because you're either lost in the sauce of your interpretation and just collapsing, or you're deliberately lying and misrepresenting things in ways that don't reflect what you're actually reading, right? The society isn't saying what you're saying, and you're just making shit up again.
Wicked coward. You demonized loon. Yeah, we got to get this guy out of here. Get the hell out of here, dude. Don't come back until you repent and have faith. Do you get it now? Do you understand how weird, warped, convoluted, satanic Stafford's theology and the Jehovah's Witness theology is? See why I said, if you listen and focus, you're going to destroy this cult and have them manifest and use sexually graphic terms and foam at the mouth, because that's all they can do?
So literally to this point, what Sam has done is all these things he's saying, and you know how he's disparaging our view and my view, all this right here. This is all just because the Watchtower says that the judges of Psalm 82 and John 10, quote in John 10, are human judges. They didn't give any like arguments for that or like evidence. They just said it. And so because they said it, the Watchtower, Sam believes it's over, right?
Yep, exactly. You got it, my brother here. He got it right here.
Okay, so this is the ongoing problem they have. This person at the bottom, he says God. It says, according to JW, Archangel Michael, a God. Jesus, only a man on earth with memories of Michael. Right. So he's the same person. He's got all the memories of the existence that he was as Michael and as a God with God in the beginning. So he's still that God. That's what being a person is, Valerian and Sam. You guys are literally proving our point here and showing how stupid you are and not realizing that's actually what it teaches. That's why John can say, the man who advanced in front of him existed before him, fag. Well, did he exist as a man? It says he did. So what are you talking about? So he's a man with God in the beginning. Right, why aren't you a Mormon then? Or something like that. No, you guys are fags, right? So we know that just calling him a man before he existed as a man doesn't mean he was a human being. It's the same person, just referring to him as a human being. Same way with John 10. He's a human being, just referring to himself as a God, being called a God. Gone, right?
You see? But watch, I'm going to bury him in a minute. So let's continue.
Right, you can see how his idiot followers demonize people at the bottom, right? These guys are clowns, everybody. They really don't understand anything. I mean, they have they're Trinitarians, right? So they're stupid by definition. They follow the dragon. They have their own schools, their own things, and they just teach each other their own lies. And they're not teaching the Bible. Nothing he's saying is from the Bible. He's reading the Watchtower.
Jesus had been speaking to us about God as being his Father, which would mean that he, Jesus, was the Son of God. So yes, they believe he's a human Son of God. See, this is where it gets tricky. This is why, my Trinitarian brothers and sisters.
No, it's the same thing. Yes, he becomes a human Son of God as well. He's born as a man, and he's firstborn from the dead, so he's born as a Son of God there as well. But he, just as like being the firstborn of all creation, he's the Son of God every time. He's never not the same Son of God. He's just taking on a new existence as the Son of God, dipshit.
Trinitarian brothers and sisters, don't assume they use the same words with the same meaning that you have.
And this guy's a clown. I'm going to be right back. I'm going to grab something real quick, and we'll resume. Okay, so let's see. We've got about, how much more time do we have of Sam? We're going to go to, we've got about another, we've got about another 40 minutes of him actually talking, and where he's going to actually, he hasn't really gotten into, you know, the most important biblical stuff. He's about to, though. Let's go on a little further. I don't know. I don't want to do like a 6-7 hour thing. We don't need to do any of those anymore. Most people have a hard time watching those really long videos. So we're already at about 4 hours. I don't know. I guess 3 hours. So, but we've only made it through about, because he keeps going off on all this craziness, right? 25 minutes of his actual video here. From where we started, where we left off. So let's let him go a little more. I'm going to see if I can maybe stop it right as he's about to get into, there's so much good stuff. I mean, the really good biblical stuff is still coming, but you can see this fatso keeps wasting all this time. He keeps quoting Watchtower, right? None of this is proving anything for him, you know? He's just trying to, I guess, throw the Watchtower in my face like, hey, even Watchtower doesn't agree with you, right? Like, when does he ever care about what Watchtower says, right? Okay, Sam, well, do they actually have an argument? Or is it just a different interpretation? I'm somehow supposed to what? Join? You want me to join the Watchtower? Is that what you're saying? You're so stupid, dude. So, once he gets into like the John 10:27, the whole snatching out of the hand, and we start getting to Psalm 95, John 11, there's a lot of good stuff coming up. So what I'm going to do, let's let him, see if we can let him finish this Watchtower stuff a little more. And then I'm going to cut it and we'll pick up again tomorrow. I wasn't going to do another live stream tomorrow. I am going to do a live stream on Sunday, a praise stream for Betsy and everybody without all the fag stuff and Sam's fatness. But to keep it manageable, we'll go ahead and I'll break here in the next 10 minutes or so. And then we'll finish him up tomorrow. Okay. We'll do another part and we'll wrap him up tomorrow because there's just so much more to do here. And he's going down, right? I mean, he has a catastrophic error when we get to Psalm 95 and John 10. It's unbelievable, right? It's bad. But let's see if we can kind of let him wrap it up a little so we can end in a manner where it'll be easy to pick up tomorrow. So we'll be back tomorrow, another live, so we can finish off this pig.
They will tell you Jesus, Son of God. But if you ask them, you mean he is the divine Son of God who became flesh? No, he's the human Son of God.
No, they would tell you he's the divine Son of God who became flesh. So now he's no longer divine. He's a human, right? Just like Hebrews 2:9 teaches, quoting Psalm 8, that's only talking about the creation of actual humans, not divine humans. Right, so he was made lower, meaning he was not lower before, and now he is. But it's the same he. Just like the man who existed before John, who wasn't a man, right, he advanced in front of him. Because it's the same person. Remember, you're just stupid. And that's all you need to know.
What does that mean? When the Holy Spirit created the body, the human nature, in Mary's womb, that act of creation made Jesus the Son of God.
It's not just creating the body, Sam. He was created. His whole existence started again there. That's what kanao in Philippians 2 means. You guys have no answer. That's what it always means, game over. Psalm says, when God sends forth his spirit, they are created. I went over this with you numerous times, dude. You're just a pig-faced liar. Okay, so if the Bible teaches we're created when God sends forth his spirit, you just said the Holy Spirit entered Mary. That's his spirit. So Jesus was created in Mary like every other begotten thing, and his existence started over again. He just knows who he is, like when we're resurrected. Exactly. We're the same person, different nature.
In the same way that Adam became God's son because God created him directly. You see the point?
Yes, we understand that. When you're created as a human, you're God's son in that manner. When you're created as a spirit, what's born from spirit to spirit, you're God's son in that manner. Congratulations.
In other words, he's not an angelic created Son of God.
Yes, he is. He's a messenger while on earth as a created human son of God. Messenger of the covenant, angel of great counsel. He's just not a spirit. That's why I asked you that question, you fag. You don't understand the difference. You keep saying angelic person. There's no such thing. Unless you mean just a person who's a messenger. Okay, but that doesn't tell us if it's a human or spirit, does it? So there's no such thing. Again, this is why you keep having this problem. It's why you don't understand the question you asked me during my appearance and you got annihilated like I did earlier because you're just stupid. You wouldn't even go to the verse because you didn't even know about it or you're just a liar. So, yes, he's a human son who was the divine son who became human, but he's the same person.
He's a human son of God like Adam.
Right, but he's the same person as the divine son, just not a spirit.
That's all he was. He's the human son of God.
Right, last Adam, perfect son, who was also the only begotten God, who was with God as the firstborn of all creation. He's still all those things too, just not a spirit.
Not even an angelic created son of God.
What you just said makes no sense whatsoever and is only something a retard would utter. There's no such thing. There's a human person and there's a spirit person, and each can be a son of God, and each can be an angel. Do you understand now?
Because he wasn't an angelic person.
Yes, he was. He was a messenger while on earth, a human messenger on earth, just not a flame of fire messenger as a spirit. You understand now? Come on, Sam. It's got to be sinking in at some point.
He was just a human son of God like Adam.
Right, and an angelic human son of God, like Elijah, and like many other human messengers who in a technical sense could be sons of God, like sons of Adam, born as a human.
That's it. And where
There's no that's it. That's always been it. That's what the Bible teaches, and you're just not very smart.
does it say that Adam was God's son? Let me show you. You ready? Luke.
None of this really matters, right? So he's gonna let's let him show us this son of God thing with Adam, and hopefully we can wrap it up right there. We'll pick it up tomorrow. I'm off. I've got time tomorrow. Be back around this same time, 6:30 or 7 in the evening, and we'll finish him off on this video. But let's go a little further.
Luke 3:38 in Jesus' genealogy. Adam of God, and the context means fathered by God. Now here, ex-JW Laura, she knows her stuff. Let her know, ask her as a former Jehovah's Witness if I'm lying. Right? Ask. They believe Jesus was just a human son of God. He wasn't even an angelic son of God.
Do you see how he keeps saying that? I mean, I literally explained the video playing on my channel right now that's been there, which is related to this question he asked me when I went on his show. It's the same problem. He doesn't understand. There's no such thing as an angelic person, you fag. There is a human person. There is a spirit person. Each of them can be a son of God. Each of them can be an angel. There's no such thing as an angelic person, unless you mean a person who is an angel, which could be spirit or human. And that's why I had to ask you that question, because you're stupid. Exactly.
Like Gabriel. He was a human son of God. That's it.
Okay, so Gabriel is a spirit son of God and a spirit angel. Jesus was a human son of God and a human angel on earth. And he's still the same person that was the Word of God with God in the beginning as a spirit. Just not a spirit. One day, something tells me you might figure this out. It's going to be bad, right? The realization of all your blasphemy and just pig fatness and not being able to comprehend this. If this ever actually dawns on you, probably that's when you're going to just die, right? It's too much for you.
That's all he was. Now, how many?
All he was. What do you mean? I don't understand. He was a perfect man, last Adam, angelic human. Same person he was before he became a man, Word of God who was in the beginning with God. It's just such a waste of time, right? I mean, we had to do it. We had to do this because this way we will be able to show everybody, no, this guy's a fag, right? He's an idiot, a pervert, and he got blown out beyond imagination, right? He doesn't even know it. He'll never know it. He's a narcissist. So we just have to keep making it clear to everybody, right? Who cares? No one cares about Sam anyway. He's collapsing. We just have to destroy his arguments so no one ever takes him seriously ever again.
How many of you are shocked to hear how perverted, satanic, blasphemous his theology is of Stafford, because he believes the same thing, and Jehovah's Witnesses? Here. They'll say, see? son of Enosh, son of Seth, son of Adam, son of God. See? Focus.
Yes, we see that, Sam. But see, he doesn't really know what he's even doing anymore. He's certainly not refuting our view. It's weird.
Guys, I don't want to get rid of you. Focus, guys. I don't want to get rid of you. You got it? Everyone sees it, right?
No, look. All right, so we'll go ahead and end it here. There was literally zero of any value or benefit in those last few minutes, but I wanted to see, let him get it out, right? Really not much of any value in anything Sam said tonight. It was a catastrophe. But at least we got to go over John 1:29 through 30 again. I have a ton of information to just destroy this guy, but he hasn't really gotten beyond Watchtower yet. He may never, right? He can probably join him at this point. So I'm going to stop it here because we've been going a while, and he's about to get into the better part of the material. And then that's where it's going to be awesome even more. So we'll get into a lot of good stuff and show clearly this guy's gone. We'll get into Psalm 82, show that we're going to look at the whole Psalm 82, show again he's an idiot. It's not talking about human judges. We already showed you what the Jewish view before and during Jesus' life is and was. Not his view, our view. So he's not looking at the best evidence. He's looking for evidence that supports his view, which is the worst possible. So we'll go ahead and it's at hour 1 minute 29 and second 36 of his video. We've got at least another 40 minutes or 35 minutes or so, probably 45 minutes to go on that video. And we're going to get into some good stuff that shows how stupid he is, right? He makes a lot of really bad mistakes like usual, but a couple are really there's a couple legendary errors here, almost Kelly level errors on the article thing that he does with John 10. Definitely. When we get to John 10, he blows it really bad. Okay, just know that. So tomorrow, coming back, we're going to finish off this pig and his blasphemy. Let me say hi to everybody real quick. Check any final perv out before we wrap it up. Thank you, David. I appreciate the super chat. He says, thanks for exposing this heretic. You got it, my friend. And you don't need to give me money to do it. I will gladly do it, but it is appreciated. I know people work hard for their money, except for Sam. And that when you share it, you do it out of your own appreciation. I don't ask for it, and I won't ever ask for it because I don't require it. I know how to get my ass out there and get a job and not disgrace my religion or the master by being worse than an unbeliever. Pretty despicable, Sam. You should be ashamed of yourself. 13 above, good to see you. Sam is the worst defamer of all people. He is despicable. He does things that are beyond what you even see. Did you hear the way he talked about me? Accused me of using drugs, attributing my fitness and trimness to drug abuse. He's a despicable fatso and a pig, and you should never refer to him as anything but that. How would you refer to Satan? Is he a nice guy? Is he just misunderstood? No, he's a pathetic, perverted pig who lies for his own selfish gain at other people's expense. No one more than God. So don't go easy on these fat pigs. Don't be Anakin Skywalker when the Emperor's about to get killed by Mace Windu for good reason, and he's trying to see if there's any weak, pathetic person out there who's going to try to save him. Don't be that person. You'll just die with him. So with that having been said, We'll be back tomorrow to say a lot more and destroy Sam again. Then we'll be back Sunday for a praise stream. We had a really good praise stream last week. Isn't it interesting? Gets like 1/3 of the views of all these other videos. But they're the best ones, aren't they? I'll do a clip of the whole pain and suffering we talked about. Probably upload that tomorrow morning. That was a good one. And maybe we'll have some good discussion again. So Sunday, for a more general praise stream, no Sam or language appropriate to him. That's specific to these fags and perverts and demonized pastors, okay? We all know who we're dealing with. These are wolves, pigs, and dogs. If you treat them as anything different, what did Jesus say they would do to you? Turn around and rip you open. Don't be that person, okay? Don't be the person who had mercy on the emperor just so he could destroy you too. With that having been said, may Jah bless you. In Jesus' name.